One Piece. I can transform into Marvel. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 101. Arpeado in danger. Haha. Ling Fan smiled. After Crocodile surrendered, he was very low-key and never volunteered. This time, his initiative surprised Ling Fan. In that case, Ski, Redfield, Barrett, Crocodile, the four of you will follow me into Arpeado to participate in the so-called Trial of God. Robin and Zoro, you will stay on the warship. No problem. Zoro was once a vice admiral of the Navy. Later, he went through various trainings and naturally had strong strength. Let me follow you, Ling Fan. Anyway, you can protect me at any time. Robin trusted Ling Fan very much. In these battles, Robin naturally knew how powerful Ling Fan was. Of course, she was still very interested in the historical text. That's right. Then, Zoro, you stay on the ship, and the next thing will be left to the six of us. If the berries or anyone here attack you, don't hold back. Destroy them all. Ling Fan said. Ling Fan was not alone with 7 people. He had many subordinates in the cabin of the warship. It was absolutely no problem for him to stop the soldiers of the Sky Island. It's just dealing with 4 priests. I'm really underutilized. After a self-deprecating laugh, Ling Fan and others drove the warship to Arpeado. The warship was moving along the sea of clouds. Ling Fan also clearly saw a huge island with many thick trees on the island. They all looked like centuries-old trees. The road to Arpeado was very obvious. There were chains on both sides of the channel, which seemed to represent the correct route to enter Arpeado. There were also 2 bull skulls in symmetrical positions on the left and right sides. Above the skull was a brazier, and below the skull was a shield with the word God written on it, as well as 2 crossed spears. Along the chain, there were also countless small altars with hideous faces. Just coming here, you will feel like you are being watched. As the warship goes deeper and deeper, the trees around are naturally more dense and numerous, adding a bit of horror to the surroundings. Robin shivered, not knowing whether it was because of the cold or because of fear. Ling Fan took out a robe and put it on Robin. Don't worry, nothing will happen. Ling Fan comforted him. There was nothing else around, and Ling Fan just felt the cold. Well, look, there are a lot of things around. Robin reminded. Yes, these seem to be all shipwrecks. How can there be so many wrecks? Redfield asked. All the ships were neatly cut in half. Was it done by a swordsman? Golden Lion Shiki asked. Haha. That's even better. I will compete with him. Barrett also laughed wildly. He has fought with the Pirate King before, so he is naturally not afraid of any so-called masters. It's a bit like being cut by a sharp blade. Crocodile's voice fell as a huge sickle swung down from the air, directly cutting Crocodile in half. Of course, Crocodile is a natural system, and he directly used elementalization, so he was immune to this ordinary physical attack. However, the fence part of the warship deck was cut a little. How boring. This is a trap to prevent ordinary people from coming in. Ling Fan took 2 steps forward, and his eyes turned quickly to the left and right. More than one. Many. Kyanki Valley. Ling Fan moved, and Deadpool Quicksilver instantly possessed him. At the supersonic time node, Ling Fan swung countless knives, and the sword energy slash was also like a rotten wood, cutting those huge sickles into countless pieces. Bang, bang, bang. Countless sickles finally fell into the sea of clouds, and all the strong men were stunned. They didn't have time to make a move, but they didn't expect that Ling Fan's knife had completely destroyed those traps. This guy's speed is so fast that it's weird. In front of my eyes, there are traps all around. If I want to deal with him, it seems that I will be killed in less than a second. Crocodile was sweating all over, and he couldn't tell whether he was shocked or scared. The Chicory Valley that Ling Fan just used was naturally derived from the Golden Lion. The Golden Lion was originally a 2-sword style. In the original work, he used 2 swords to replace his feet. Ling Fan spent 18 years to develop Deadpool's 2-sword style into his own 2-sword style. Being able to compete with the world's most powerful swordsman Hawkeye, Ling Fan's swordsmanship has obviously entered the forefront of the world. Some people have become accustomed to Lingfen, while others are still not used to it. After all, how can there be such a powerful person in the sea? Robin wanted to say something, but Lingfen stopped him again and said, "Everyone, be careful, the traps don't stop here." Lingfen then came to Robin at a super fast speed, quickly merged with Captain America, raised the shield in his hand high, and then heard swish, swish, swish. A voice sounded, and countless wooden thorns fell from the sky. These wooden thorns were so dense that ordinary humans would have no chance of survival unless they hid in warships. Dang dang dang. The wooden thorns were all blocked by Lingfen's shield. Even some of them were isolated outside the body by Lingfen's armament color. Robin was naturally protected carefully, and these things are naturally a little kiss to other strong people. Redfield can dodge all the wooden thorns just by using his body skills. Crocodile doesn't need to block at all. He just needs to transform into element, and the wooden thorns can't cause any damage. After all, there is no domineering aura wrapped around the wooden thorns. The Golden Lion used his swordsmanship to shoot down the various wooden thorns that were shot at him. Barrett is a ruthless man. He didn't even use the hardening of the armament color. He only relied on the release of the armament color to isolate all the wooden thorns. How boring. Barrett grabbed a wooden thorn and threw it hard, hitting a machine that released wooden thorns. Finally, with a boom, the machine was destroyed. The reason why Lingfen didn't take action was to see how his legendary pirates would deal with this emergency. After passing this area, it became calm again for a few seconds, but Lingfen knew that things were not over yet. Then countless leech-like creatures suddenly floated up in the sea of clouds. Desert sword. Crocodile hit hard and the monster's head was chopped off. It seems to be a kind of lamprey, but in the MTC, it should be called a lamprey, right? Robin said with interest. Aren't you a historian? How do you know something about animals? Lingfen asked. It's some common sea creatures in the sea. I guess they were sent up by the surging sea current. It must be like this. Robin nodded. Isn't this a trial? This is too boring. Barrett still looked eager to try. Chapter 102 Trial of the Bull. This cloud river is so dangerous at the beginning. I think it should be more interesting inside. We shouldn't die tragically, right? The taste of adventure? Exciting. I like it. Robin also smiled surprisingly. Robin. Venomous and black-bellied. Lingfen felt that he had known Robin a little bit again. The warship sailed a few hundred meters again, and the lamprey appeared again, but for Lingfen and his people, it was naturally no longer a problem. Soon, the ship came to the location of a stone statue. The size of this stone statue was much larger than the one next to the chain at the entrance. This stone statue looked like the face of a Buddha, and in front of him, there were 5 smaller stones. What is this? At the entrance of the trial? We are qualified for the trial now, right? Asked Shiki, the Golden Lion. Yes, these 5 stone pillars can be regarded as the 5 fingers of the Buddha. Except for the smallest finger on the far left, there are 4 different trials from the index finger to the little finger. The trial of the swamp, the trial of the iron, the trial of the rope, and the trial of the bull. Redfield read it out. Everyone, you can choose. You will meet 4 priests in each of these 4 trials. These 4 priests are all our enemies. Lingfen explained. I choose the iron trial. Barrett made his choice first, and then said, let's end this boring game. Then Barrett rushed to the entrance of the iron trial at a very fast speed. What about the others? Lingfen asked. I choose the swamp trial. After all, I can control gravity. The Golden Lion chose a swamp trial, and then controlled his body to float in. In that case, I will choose the rope trial. I'm a natural ability user. No matter what, they will not restrain me. Crocodile turned into a gust of dust and then entered the cave of the rope trial. Finally, Redfield grew a pair of wings like a bat and then quickly sank into the bull trial like a gust of wind. Then what about us? Robin asked. Let Zoro stop the warship. We will fly to the top of this boulder, wait for the 4 priests to be killed, and then we will deal with the enemy's leader. Lingfen did not intend to break through these trials one by one. After all, in the end, they were only dealing with 4 priests. The priests mainly relied on their observation haki, and there was nothing else worth mentioning. Okay. Robin naturally entered the cabin. After a while, Zoro led his men out. After Lingfen finished his instructions, he transformed into Iron Man and lent the Iron Mech to Robin temporarily. Jarvis, help Robin fly. Just follow me. Lingfen gave Robin the mech. If he wanted to fly, he naturally needed to fuse with Johnny the Thunderbolt. After all this was done, Lingfen flew to the top of the Buddha statue. With the help of Jarvis, Robin followed Lingfen very steadily and landed on the stone statue. Jarvis, remote reconnaissance, and project the screen for Robin to see. Lingfen ordered. Understood. Jarvis then let Robin see the trials in 4 places, and Lingfen used Wolverine's long-range vision to see everything around him clearly. In the canal, Redfield saw white snowballs floating around. These snowballs were very beautiful when suspended in the air. The Cloud River extended to the trees. The Red Earl was moving forward quickly along the Cloud River, and naturally he also found the white balls around him. These things are not right. Redfield had just finished speaking when he found that many white snowballs had completely blocked the road ahead of him. Just when the Red Earl wanted to pass them, the white snowballs actually bang bang. A big explosion occurred. Suddenly, smoke filled the air. Robin, who was observing from the stone statue, asked worriedly, "Will Mr. Red Earl?" Lingfen patted Robin on the shoulder and said, "Don't worry, he is the Red Earl, who can compete with Pirate King Roger and others alone, a mere priest." Sure enough, after Lingfen's words fell, Robin observed that Redfield was unharmed. A man with a spherical body, wearing glasses and a yellow hat, and with angel wings, that only Sky Island has said. It's amazing. This thing is called a scare you ball. Welcome to Choose My Ball trial. I'm the priest Moreno. Sadly or the priest seemed to like playing very much and just jumped up on the big ball where he was standing. So that's how it is. You are the priest, the subordinate of that Enel? Asked the Red Earl. Haha. Yes. That's our god. But you will definitely die if you meet me, so don't even think about fighting him. The priest is still lively and looks very happy. Huh. Dare to speak arrogantly in front of me? How interesting. The Red Earl didn't want to refute the priest in front of him. Lingfen was also worried about the priest from a distance. Even the 4 emperors and even Roger might not be able to defeat the Red Earl. This priest was so self-righteous. Yes, they think they are gods here, and naturally they don't take the so-called King He people seriously. Lingfen shook his head. For now, Enel's team is a frog in the well, and they don't even have domineering spirit. Only if you defeat me can you move forward and see Enel. The priest jumped over while speaking. Humph. It seems that you are going to rush over to attack me. The priest said lightly, then avoided Redfield's attack, and then hit Redfield's abdomen with a palm. The priest had hidden the impact shell in his gloves early, so a force of impact pushed Redfield back a few steps. What? Question mark? I was hit by my impact shell, but I only took a few steps back. The priest opened his mouth, looking unbelievable. Ha ha ha. The Red Earl laughed loudly, revealing his own unique evil smile. Is this the impact haki? I felt it for a while, and it's not that powerful. Can you predict my movements? Being able to predict the future, the observation haki is pretty good. It seems that you don't understand that observation haki 87 is the so-called hard guide that you rely on. The Red Earl smiled, and his body was not hurt. Lingfen smiled and said, it turns out that the Red Earl was hit on purpose. This guy wanted to try the impact of the impact haki. The enemy can predict his attack? How did he know that the enemy used observation haki? Robin had just come out of Alabasta, so naturally she didn't know about haki. In terms of observation haki, the Red Earl is the ancestor. After he touches someone, he can easily read the other person's thoughts and memories. He is a very scary person. Lingfen said, what about haki? It will be used a lot in the new world. I will teach you later. And the Red Earl's side naturally shocked the priest again. You. How do you know what I think in my heart? Question mark? Impossible. Could it be that you also know the mind? Exclamation mark. The priest asked. Chapter 103 The 4 Great Priests Failed. Huh? I don't need to answer you. You're already dead. The Red Earl smiled a playful smile. After he finished speaking, the priest also showed an extremely terrified expression, as if he had foreseen something terrible. Some things, even if they are foreseen, the final result cannot be changed. The priest who used the hard gang had no time to control his body. The Red El's figure had passed by at a very fast speed and arrived in front of the priest in a flash. With a whoosh sound, the Red El stretched out one hand and locked the priest's throat tightly like a pair of pliers. Sorry, this time, Ling Fan did not let us show mercy. The Red El's eyes were extremely determined. Well, the priest wanted to speak, but couldn't speak at all. The Red El's hand strength was very terrifying. Go to hell. The Red El had no mercy. He exerted a little force in his hand, and the priest's throat was directly crushed. The trial of the bull. The Red El actually passed it so easily. It seems that the old ones are still the best. Ling Fan nodded, expressing his great admiration for the Red El's skills and decisiveness in killing. Mr. Red El is worthy of being a legend on the sea. Robin was also dumbfounded and said, you can actually make such a strong man willing to become your subordinate. Ha, then I will take it as a compliment to me. Ling Fan smiled faintly and then watched the rest of the battle silently. Golden Lion chose the swamp trial. When he came to the end of the Cloud River, the enemy that appeared was the Death Priest, Gadas, who was wearing a purple suit. Haha. Congratulations on choosing the swamp trial. The survival rate of this trial I'm in charge of is 50%. It's either life or death. The priest said. After hearing the priest's words, Golden Lion then laughed wildly. Haha. How many years has it been? How dare someone say such a thing to me? I will let you know the fate of those who dare to be my enemy. Golden Lion drew out his Yingshi and Muku and slashed out sword energy. Chop the wave. The biggest feature of the priest in front of him is that he puts the wind shells on his limbs, which can make him faster and fly in the air. But when it comes to flying in the air, Golden Lion can do it too. Golden Lion slashing wave is a random sword energy, and the priest finally used his body skills to perfectly dodge it. Ha. It seems that your speed is not bad, but if you are locked tightly by me, no matter how fast you are, it should be useless, right? Golden Lion said. What do you mean? The priest had a bad premonition, and then his mind let him see what was about to happen. Impossible. What kind of ability is this? The priest blurted out, controlling the wind shells and trying to escape immediately. At the same time, the god controlled the surrounding swamp clouds to try to stop Golden Lion. However, the opponent was a strong man of the same era as Golden Lion, Whitebird Roger and others. Golden Lion put his hands on the ground and then said softly, Lion's power roll. Then, the entire ground was completely lifted up and the ground finally turned into a lion's head, locking the priest firmly in place. Priest, you actually claim to be an official of God. How naive and arrogant. No wonder I don't know you. I hope you can remember your shortcomings in your next life. Shiki the Golden Lion is also a villain in the original work, so he is naturally ruthless when dealing with his enemies. The Golden Lion gently pinched his hand, and the lion's power scroll easily crushed the priest into a pile of minced meat. It seems that the Golden Lion has done a good job. This swamp trial has also been broken. The next thing is the rope trial and the iron trial. Ling Fan said. What a terrible power. This guy is so strong. Robin didn't see the Golden Lion take action, but when Robin saw the Golden Lion take action with her own eyes, she knew how terrifying this guy was. Then the two of them turned their attention to the rope trial on Crocodile's side. It is obvious that Crocodile has met the trial officer. I'm the trial officer of the rope trial. My name is Shura. The survival pass rate here is only 3%. The trial officer who spoke wore a pilot's cap and goggles and was now the Sky Knight on Sky Island. Haha, 3. Data and so on don't matter. Although I don't want to listen to that guy's command, I still want to kill you as soon as possible. The person who spoke was naturally Crocodile. Crocodile was wearing a coat and holding a cigar in his mouth, looking very domineering. He naturally looked down on the priest in front of him. You look strong, but you chose the wrong opponent, so your final result is death. After the priest finished speaking, he raised his spear and attacked Crocodile in the air. The spear was wrapped in flames. It can be seen that the priest's attack power is stronger than the previous two. But Crocodile didn't move at all, allowing the priest to stab him like this. Bang! After the flame spear pierced Crocodile's body, the place where Crocodile was pierced turned into countless sand. What? Question mark? Impossible. Question mark? The priest obviously had never seen such an enemy. The only similar situation he had seen was with god Enel. Swoosh. Crocodile gathered the sand again. This time, Crocodile used the sand to completely wrap the priest's body, forming something like a sand coffin to lock the priest. Crocodile, who had transformed into a human form, had already placed his hand on the priest's head. Impossible. Impossible. How can you have power similar to that of God? Question mark? The priest was also shocked. God, I don't know what you are talking about. You people from Sky Island are really weird. Don't you even know about the fruits of the natural system? It seems that you are not that powerful, so go to hell. Crocodile's hand suddenly began to absorb 10 points of the priest's body violently. Soon, the priest called Shura turned into a mummy, as if he could no longer die. It seems that their god should also be a natural type ability user. Crocodile pondered. Crocodile has also killed the enemy in seconds. Barrett is the only one left. 3 of the 4 great priests are dead, and Enel is left alone. Lingfen said. Barrett chose the iron trial. He followed the cloud river to a place where a man had blocked his way. This man had circles of lines on his right arm, and he was holding a knife made of clouds in his hand. He was wearing black sunglasses, and when he drew the sword, there was a pair of white wings on his back that were the signature of the Sky Island residents. I'm the priest of the iron trial. The survival rate here is 0%. In other words, you're going to die today. Are you ready? Priest said with a smile. He had no idea what a terrifying opponent he was facing. Ha ha ha. Barrett laughed, and the atmosphere around him obviously became a little different. Chapter 104. Arrogant Enelu. You are such a piece of trash. You are not even worthy of carrying my shoes. Barrett raised his lips. His eyes cast a playful look, and a terrifying aura instantly burst out from Barrett's body. The surroundings instantly became dark and gloomy. Barrett naturally released his own domineering aura. To Barrett's level, the priest, even filling his teeth is not enough. Who are you with such a terrifying aura? The priest was dumbfounded and trembling all over. He had never seen a person with such a terrifying aura in his life. Humph. Douglas Barrett. Although Barrett's body was huge, his speed was not slow. In just a moment, Barrett had teleported to the side of the priest. Go to hell. This boring trial. Barrett turned his head to the other side, and blood had already splashed on his body. HMM. The priest looked at his abdomen in disbelief. HMM. The priest kept spitting blood from his mouth. It turned out that Barrett's arm had completely penetrated his abdomen. Barrett didn't even use the armament haki hardening. He completely killed the priest in front of him with his strength and body alone. 0%? Are you kidding me? How boring. Why don't you call your gods to come out quickly? Barrett then pinched the priest's head with his hands and lifted it up easily. However, due to the serious injury, the priest in front of him spat out a few mouthfuls of blood, his eyes became blurred, and he eventually lost his life. It's useless. Barrett threw the priest into the Cloud River. Since then, all 4 trials of Upper Yard have been easily broken by Lingfen's men. Let's go. Since they have all succeeded, they should continue to go deeper to find Enel's figure, and we should set off. Lingfen said to Robin beside him. Enel? Is he the god here? Robin asked. Yes, this guy calls himself a god, but he is just an arrogant guy. Lingfen knew how powerful Enel was, but he didn't think he would lose to him. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Danger alarm. A sound suddenly came from Robin's Iron Man armor. Lingfen also sensed it through his observation haki, frowned slightly and then said, Jarvis, leave here and protect Robin. Okay, sir. After Jarvis responded, he immediately controlled the mecha to fly up and left the stone statue. At this time, a lightning bolt suddenly fell from the sky. Lingfen was prepared and immediately used Deadpool's teleportation to dodge. With a boom, the huge stone statue was destroyed by lightning. Lingfen appeared on the land of Arpeado, but at this time, there was another change around him. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Suddenly, many white angels with wings on their backs and strange looks appeared around him. Are you the so-called magic soldiers of Sky Island? What? Do you want to attack me with your strength? Lingfen found that he was surrounded by magic soldiers. It was obvious that these people were here to ambush Lingfen, but what about their strength? Obviously, they were far behind Lingfen. Godly soldiers, prepare to die. After the man who called himself the godly soldiers said this, all the godly soldiers around rushed out one by one, all holding special sharp melee weapons. Ling Fan naturally rushed forward and first swung the Captain America shield in his hand with great force, and the shield disappeared instantly, making a whoosh sound. Then there was a bang, and the fastest godly soldiers were knocked away by Ling Fan's shield throw. When Captain America's shield came back again, Ling Fan took the shield again and threw it out again. The godly soldiers on the side naturally launched a close range attack, but Ling Fan's observation haki had already seen through their movements. Quicksilver's supersonic speed deepened, and he easily hammered the godly soldiers in front of him one by one with his shield skills. When Ling Fan stopped moving, all the godly soldiers flew up almost at the same time. They only felt a sharp pain in a certain part of their body, but they didn't know the specific reason. Plop. All the magic weapons finally fell into the Cloud River. These magic weapons would never have dreamed that the battle would end in an instant. Is Enel at a loss? He actually sent so many people to die. It seems that he is afraid. Ling Fan also said with a smile on his face. At this time, a huge lightning bolt fell from the sky again. Zzzz. Bang. Ling Fan was naturally able to block or avoid it, but this time, Ling Fan did not dodge, but directly withstood the lightning released by Enel. The transformed Deadpool is naturally strong enough to withstand Enel's lightning. At this time, even if Ling Fan does not transform, he can withstand the lightning with his own body. Although Enel is a natural ability user, because the fruit has not been awakened, his strength can only be said to be okay. Therefore, Ling Fan was not hurt. After enduring the lightning, Ling Fan immediately said, "Jarvis, scan and locate the source of this power." It has been located. The source of this power is in the north. I will lead you there. After Jarvis finished speaking, he immediately took Robin and flew up. This time, Ling Fan naturally chose to follow the steel mecha and followed behind him. Enelu, you can't escape this time. Ling Fan felt that he was sure of success. A man not far away smiled and said, I didn't expect that I could defeat the divine soldiers and priests. It seems that there are also great people among mortals. As a god, my mission is to extend the hand of salvation and let them feel despair. It seems that my location has been discovered. I will wait for you here. There are 4 large drums engraved with 3 megatama on the back of this man, hanging high, with a white turban wrapped around his head, very long earlobes, all growing on his chest, naked upper body, bell-bottom pants on the lower body, barefoot, holding a golden stick. He is Enel, who calls himself a god. At this moment, Enel is not nervous at all. In his eyes, it is impossible for mortals to defeat gods. Gather these mortals. Just catch them all. Discharge. Enel's left hand turned into lightning, and the thunder and lightning were so powerful that they immediately rushed high into the sky and released towards Barret, Red Earl, Golden Lion, and Sand Crocodile. Because releasing lightning is to attract others to come, Enel's move naturally exposed his position. The Thunder Fruit? What an amazing power! Robin exclaimed. It is impossible to become a strong man just by relying on the fruit. As for God, that's even more outrageous. Interesting Enel, he actually took the initiative to expose his position. I really don't know whether to say he is arrogant or stupid. At this time, Ling Fan sped up. He naturally hoped that he could understand Enel himself. Chapter 105, Battle against Hibiki Enelu. Ling Fan's whole body was burning with flames. It was obvious that Ling Fan was using Johnny Thunderbolt's flying ability to travel across the Sky Island at a very fast speed. Soon, Ling Fan arrived at the destination he wanted to reach. What is this? Robin looked around. There were many collapsed houses covered with moss around. This is an ancient ruin. The Golden City hundreds of years ago was here. Ling Fan knew more or less about these places. You are finally here. One is burning with flames. One looks like a robot. What on earth are you? A person sitting high on a white cloud asked. Enelu, we are here to defeat you. The person in front of him was naturally Ling Fan's target of this trip, the god of Sky Island. This is really interesting. Ha. It's just a King Hey person. You don't seem to understand who you are talking to. Enelu turned his back on him. It seems that you haven't understood the existence of the so-called god. Although in this world, it doesn't matter what the small shrimps want to get, but this country itself is wrong. Enel said, "You want to destroy Sky Island? Sorry, I can't let you do that, because Sky Island will be my territory." Ling Fan patted his chest and said, "Your territory? Ha. It doesn't matter. Once God completes his journey, he will return to where he should go. You can occupy Sky Island, but I will return to where God should go. People call that place the Infinite Land." Enel said enthusiastically, "Sorry, you will never be able to go back with me here." Ling Fan had already killed the 4 great priests under Enel, so he would naturally not let Enel leave alive. Huh? Just you? How stupid. Enel began to turn the golden stick in his hand, and then pointed it at Ling Fan. At the same time, Enel's other hand instantly gathered a large amount of lightning. 20 million volts. Discharge. The lightning instantly surged towards Ling Fan. "Jarvis, stay a little further away," Ling Fan said. Then, lightning surged up, and Ling Fan immediately pulled out the Captain America shield behind him, and blocked it in front of himself. There was a sound of sizzle, and lightning began to flash, but Ling Fan was not hit by lightning because of the shield. Ahahaha. Not bad. You can actually resist my lightning. Very good. Why don't you come with me to the Infinite Land? Only those who are chosen here can live on that land. Those of my old subordinates who can't even bear such a few hours of survival game, even if they live there, they will lower the standards of the country." Enel extended an olive branch to Ling Fan and others. It was obvious that Enel wanted to choose 4 of his men to go to the Infinite Land. Ling Fan naturally couldn't agree and said, "No, I will send you to hell next." Ling Fan's whole body burst into flames with a bang, and the blazing flames immediately burned the clouds around his feet into black. "Oh, interesting. You have a shield that can also release flames. It seems that you really have strong abilities. Let me play with you." Enel smiled and opened one palm again. With a hissing sound, countless lightning flashed in the palm of Enel's hand. Fire fist. Ling Fan punched out, as if he had eaten the flame fruit. The lightning and flames collided with each other, which was very dazzling. Robin beside him was stunned. He had never seen such a shocking battle in all these years. "Ahaha. I want to see how strong you are," Enel shouted, and then beat his own drum. The lightning quickly condensed into a Thunderbird Phoenix. The Thunderbird Phoenix rushed out against the wind and attacked Ling Fan. Ling Fan held the Captain America shield and shouted as well. Then he rushed towards the Thunderbird, and the shield in his hand was unconsciously covered with the armed color. The black armed color covered the shield, and it instantly became more indestructible. The Thunderbird hit the shield hard, and then lightning shot out. The Edelman metal shield actually completely withstood the lightning. Enel's eyes widened. He had never thought that the shield of the person in front of him could actually block his Thunderbird. "What kind of shield is this? It's so strong?" Enel asked. "From your tone, it seems that you are very dissatisfied?" Ling Fan asked back. "There is nothing to be dissatisfied about. I don't believe it. I can't split your shield with my lightning." Enel did not give up. He could use a maximum voltage of 200 million volts. 60 million volts. Thunder Dragon. Enel knocked on the drums on his shoulders, and more lightning flashed all over his body, and then the lightning instantly transformed into a hideous Thunder Dragon. The voltage of the Thunder Dragon is twice as strong as the voltage of the Thunderbird just now. The huge lightning seemed to be able to tear everyone apart, but Ling Fan once again raised the shield and blocked it in front of him. "Ahaha. Good fellow, are you still going to take it head on? This is my special skill." Enel laughed loudly and released the Thunder Dragon in his hand mercilessly. Ouch. It seemed that he could hear the roar of the Thunder Dragon. When the Thunder Dragon hit him, Ling Fan immediately felt an extremely terrifying force. This force naturally came from the 60 million volts of voltage and the impact of the Thunder Dragon. Ling Fan's body slowly stepped back a few steps. With a little force on his feet, he completely fixed his body. The Thunder Dragon impacted for a few seconds, and its power gradually decreased. Ling Fan's upper body exerted a little force, and the Thunder Dragon was actually shattered by the shield. The 60 million volt Thunder Dragon was actually dissolved just like that. This is impossible. It actually resisted my Thunder Dragon? Something is wrong. What kind of shield is this? Enel was a little flustered. It's not the sword that is powerful, but he uses it. The same is true for the shield in my hand. Even if the sky falls, I can block it with the shield in my hand. Ling Fan said very confidently. Stop talking nonsense. I will defeat you. You are just a Qinghe native, and you dare to disrespect God. After saying this, Enel's body turned into a flash of lightning and disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already next to Ling Fan. One used the golden stick, and the other used Captain America's shield. Captain America has countless fighting skills. In close combat, he can flexibly block Enel's stick attack and fight back. However, because both sides' observation haki are very strong, both of them can avoid each other's attacks. In the end, the original close combat turned into a long-range battle again. You are strong, but you are immortal after all. I'm afraid you can't keep up with the speed of lightning. Enel's mouth corners slightly raised, his eyes revealed a bloodthirsty look, and he looked like he had already won. Chapter 106. Enel is beaten violently. The speed of lightning? Ling Fan really couldn't keep up with the speed of lightning. Although lightning was not as exaggerated as the speed of light, it was definitely not something that humans could keep up with. However, the problem was that no matter how strong Enel was, he couldn't keep his speed at the speed of lightning for a long time. Kizaru Borsalino's flash fruit was faster, but it couldn't keep up with the speed of light. And what about Ling Fan? As long as he transformed into Quicksilver, he could keep up supersonic speed during the transformation, whether moving or attacking. Ling Fan then immediately transformed silently, and his body changed a little. In addition to Robin, who needed the protection of Iron Man's armor, Ling Fan also needed to fuse two heroes. First he chose Quicksilver, and then he naturally chose Deadpool, who had the strongest comprehensive ability. Deadpool and Quicksilver merged into Ling Fan's body, and Ling Fan's full ability was instantly improved. 100 million volts. Discharge. Enel's lightning was faster and more this time, but Ling Fan's speed was obviously also improved by a level. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Ling Fan quickly shuttled between lightning, and his speed was so fast that it was intriguing. Enel's observation haki was activated, and naturally he caught the trajectory of Ling Fan's movement. What? The speed is so fast? Enel was also very unbelievable, and 100 million volts was enough to convert lightning into a range attack. Enel gritted his teeth and said, I'm a god. Then Enel shouted, and hit the drum on his back again. With Enel as the center, a stronger and larger lightning spread outward. Ordinary people, let alone being hit head on, even if they were slightly touched, their whole body would instantly turn into ashes. Ling Fan didn't have a shield this time, but he still walked forward step by step towards the lightning. The lightning struck Ling Fan's body, and Ling Fan's hair was struck upright, but Ling Fan still marched towards Enel indomitable. Is it because my voltage is not enough? Even so, he hasn't fallen down. How is this possible? Enel's three views were refreshed again and again. After all, the person in front of him was too weird. Although Ling Fan's whole body was under great damage from lightning, it would recover in the next second. Even if the skin and flesh were torn apart by lightning, it would heal itself in the next second. Ling Fan was fused with Deadpool. He has a self-healing ability that surpasses Wolverine, so lightning can't really hurt Ling Fan. Ling Fan just advanced to the side of Enel, then raised his fist and punched him. Enel was so shocked that he couldn't speak. He never thought that as a god, he would be beaten by a mere Qinghe man with his 100 million volt attack. Bang. In shock, Enel naturally ignored the observation haki, and his body was instantly knocked away by a punch. Boom. Enel finally fell into the ancient ruins. Next, it's my time. Ling Fan smiled and quickly came to Enel's side with the ability of Quicksilver. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Ling Fan raised his hands and began to beat Enel's. After who knows how many punches he threw, Enel's whole body released even more powerful lightning, and Ling Fan stopped. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Enel said 3 dams in a row, obviously extremely angry. How dare you, as a human, go beyond my control? How dare you, as a god, go against me? You must be punished. You must be punished. God's punishment. Enel flew high into the air. With his hands raised high, his wrists instantly turned into flashing lightning, which accumulated larger and larger, and finally became an extremely terrifying collection of lightning. Enel used his observation haki to completely lock onto Ling Fan, then pointed his hands at Ling Fan and said, go to hell. God's punishment. With a boom. sound, a huge lightning column descended from the sky. This lightning column was extremely huge, and ordinary people could not dodge it at all. Moreover, Enel had locked onto Lingfen with his key. Even if Lingfen used supersonic speed, he could not dodge this lightning. Boom boom boom. Enel was extremely decisive in killing, and finally let the lightning completely strike Lingfen. The cloud under Lingfen's feet was completely penetrated by lightning. The angels from Sky Island saw this scene one after another, and everyone didn't know what happened. Lingfen. Robin shouted with great concern. Jarvis? Is there any trace of Lingfen? Robin asked. Sorry, I didn't find any trace of Lord Lingfen. Jarvis said. Damn it. Robin's eyes lost color instantly. Enel's observation haki lost the trace of Lingfen. Obviously, Enel's attack hit Lingfen very accurately, and Lingfen was naturally hit by Enel's divine thunder, and turned into flying ash. Ahahaha. Finally you have tasted the power of God, right? You mortal. You are just a mortal after all. Enel laughed very proudly. Robin also felt empty in his heart. Lingfen, are you really dead? Then, a voice came. Enel, look who I am. Lingfen's voice suddenly sounded from behind Enel. Enel was shocked, and turned around immediately, and at the same time, he turned into an element. Bang! With a heavy punch, Enel's body was knocked away again. This time, Enel was hit directly and vomited blood, which seemed to be a big injury. How is this possible? Why are you still alive? And your attack can actually touch me? What's the reason? Enel remembered that he had clearly become an element, and it was reasonable that no mortal could touch him. The person who attacked Enel was naturally Lingfen. The reason why Lingfen couldn't find him was because he used Deadpool's teleportation belt and teleported to Enel's side silently. And the reason why Lingfen could touch the natural ability user was naturally because he used the armament haki. At this time, Lingfen didn't intend to delay anymore, and his whole body was completely wrapped in black armament haki. In this way, even if Enel used more exaggerated thunder, it would not hurt Lingfen at all. Enel, next, it's time to fulfill my promise. Lingfen said. Your promise? What does it mean? Enel was a little confused. Have you forgotten that I told you that I would send you to hell? Lingfen smiled slightly, and Enel gnashed his teeth and cursed. You are just a Qinghe native. You made me angry. Angry? So what? Lingfen smiled and challenged the angry Enel. Angry me? I will use my strongest move to understand you. A large amount of lightning flashed all over Enel's body, and the lightning all over his body crackled and surrounded him. At this moment, the voltage of Enel reached an unprecedented state. 200 million volts. Chapter 107 Thunder God's Battle. 200 million volts Thunder God. Enel had transformed into a giant thunder god, with lightning lingering around his body, and the entire Arpeado began to shake. At the same time, Lingfen's men had also arrived. So the guy who possessed the thunder fruit is him? The Red Earl asked Enel in front of him. Yes, this guy is about to launch the strongest move. Lingfen said. Do you need our help? Golden Lion and others asked. No, you just need to protect Robin. Lingfen planned to transform into Hulk and withstand the attack of 200 million volts. At this time, the Holy Plan made a sound. Host, hello, you still have a lottery to draw. Do you want to draw now? Maybe there will be unexpected gains. The Holy Plan also reminded. What? When is there a chance to draw a lottery? Lingfen knew that when the Holy Plan communicated with him, the time of the whole world would be suspended, so he could talk unscrupulously. When you defeated Crocodile and Hawkeye, you fought against Tsushichibuke, which caused a lot of discussion in the sea, and became a big event. You won a chance to win a lottery. But because your attention was not on me recently, you temporarily forgot about me. I reminded you halfway. The Divine Plan said. Reminded? Why don't I remember? Lingfen shook his head and said, forget it. Is there anything you want to explain about this lottery? There are 5 heroes that can be randomly drawn in this lottery. You can block 2 of them and randomly draw from the 3. The Divine Plan said. Then let's get started. I hope these characters will be useful in the next battle. Lingfen said. The Divine Plan then said. The first hero, Professor X. Mutants have the most powerful psychic abilities in the world. The second hero, Loki, the god of trickery, Thor's brother, has many magical abilities. The third hero, Thor, is the god of thunder and strength in Norse mythology, with extremely strong power and the ability to control lightning. The fourth hero, the Winter Soldier, Barnes, is Captain America's good friend and has strong fighting power. The fifth hero, Doctor Strange, the mysterious magician, Marvel's top hero. Ling Fan thought about it and first ruled out Barnes. Since Captain America was already there was actually not much use for the Winter Soldier. Professor X and Doctor Strange would definitely stay, as both were terrifyingly strong. It seems that I can only choose one between Thor and Loki, Ling Fan said to himself. Because of the influence of Marvel movies, Ling Fan naturally chose Thor in the end. I choose Thor, Ling Fan said. Okay. Then randomly select one from Professor X, Thor, and Doctor Strange. After 5 seconds, the divine plan said, the selection has been completed. Congratulations on winning Thor. Thor? Not bad. Ling Fan was not so unsatisfied. He already had Hulk, Captain America, and Iron Man in the Avengers, so Thor was naturally not going to escape. Do you want to transform into Thor? Fight the enemy in front of you? The divine plan asked. Ling Fan naturally knew what the divine plan meant. Enel in front of him was naturally the best touchstone for Ling Fan to transform into Thor. Transform into Thor. I want to try Thor's power. After Ling Fan responded, a familiar white light swept over his body. Then he wore the armor of the Aesir and a red cloak appeared on his back. As the wind swayed, Ling Fan's hair turned red and he grew a lot of red beard. There was an extra hammer on his right hand. This hammer was naturally Thor's hammer, named Mjolnir, which was said to be able to hit any object. Everything around him gradually became colorful, and Ling Fan's eyes locked onto Enel. Go to hell. Enel locked onto Ling Fan at this time, and the huge 200 million volt thunder god attacked Ling Fan overwhelmingly. Idiot. Do you think you are the only one who can use the power of thunder and lightning? Thor's hammer. Ling Fan raised Thor's hammer high, and there was a roar in the sky. Then countless thunder and lightning burst out from the air, all of which were attracted by Ling Fan. Ling Fan's whole body was filled with lightning that was more terrifying than the 200 million volt thunder god. Even his eyes and mouth were flashing with lightning. Ling Fan completely turned into a Thunderman. What's going on? Enel lost consciousness again. Of course, he didn't know what had happened to Ling Fan, but he had a bad premonition. Go. Enel turned into Thor and slapped him with his palm, and Ling Fan also swung Thor's hammer and smashed him. The two of them swooshed and closed the distance, and one fist and one hammer collided with each other. With a bang, the lightning and the air struck the two of them. I'm a god. A king. Hey native. You can never defeat me. Enel still shouted enthusiastically. God? What you call a god is bullshit. I'm the real god of thunder. After Ling Fan said this, thunder and lightning were raging around him, and Enel's thunder and lightning were naturally gradually at a disadvantage. This is impossible. I ate the thunder fruit. How can you control such a huge amount of thunder and lightning? Enel used his last strength to resist Ling Fan while showing an unbelievable look. Because I'm Thor, the god of thunder. Ling Fan shouted, and the strength in his hands increased 100 times. The thunder and lightning, impact force and domineering power instantly overwhelmed Enel. Then there was a bang, and Enel was completely defeated. I didn't expect that I would lose to you. Enel's body slowly fell from the air, and his body had already been charred by thunder and lightning. Humph. I won't give you a chance to live. Ling Fan did not stop there, but turned Thor's hammer and flew up like this, trying to kill Enelu completely. Electrotherapy. Enelu used lightning to pace his heart, and soon his heart started beating again. I want to escape, and you can't stop me. Enelu used up his last strength, turned his body into lightning, and quickly flew to another place. Where can you escape to? Everyone, catch up with Enelu. This guy must die. Ling Fan gave an order, and then his men quickly chased in the direction of Enelu. Could this guy want to take that spaceship to the infinite land? Ling Fan guessed. Maybe. Can't let it get away. Ling Fan made up his mind this time, and naturally chased after it again. Enelu's face was full of fanaticism. As long as you reach the Arc Proverbs, I will make you look good, mortal. Enelu still has his last trump card. Chapter 108. Enelu's silence. Ling Fan's speed cannot reach the speed of lightning. He is not the Flash. But Enel has used the power of his thunder fruit to come to the Arc Maxim. He quickly released lightning on the Arc Maxim, and the Arc Maxim was driven. But because of this, Enelus's position was exposed again. Lingfan's speed of arrival was a little faster. Arc Maxim. Release the thundercloud. Start. I don't know if it was voice controlled, but after Enelus finished speaking, a large number of black thunderclouds were discharged from the chimney of the Arc Maxim. The thunderclouds were dense and easily covered the entire sky of Arpeado. The thunderclouds were still being discharged, shrouding the entire sky island in darkness. It was just a matter of time. Use this huge thundercloud. I don't care what kind of unusual human you are. In the end, you will be defeated by me. This country will also be destroyed because of you. Enelus said very enthusiastically. At this moment, Lingfan and others finally came to the vicinity of the Arc Maxim. Looking at this strange shape, Lingfan naturally knew that this was the Arc Maxim. Enelus is on this ship. Lingfan then turned the Thor's hammer in his hand and landed on the deck of the Arc Maxim first. You're here, but it's too late. The thunderclouds have covered the surroundings. You can never beat me here, Enelus said confidently. I don't know where your confidence comes from. Lingfan then raised his hand and threw the Thor's hammer in his hand. With a whoosh, the Thor's hammer hit the seat in the middle of the Arc Maxim. Enelus naturally turned into an element to avoid Lingfan's attack. Enelus quickly took a step forward and stabbed Lingfan with the high electricity spear in his hand. Lingfan still didn't dodge, but just smiled slightly. There's a problem. After Enelus reacted, he dodged immediately, and the Thor's hammer behind him returned to Lingfan's hand. Your weapon can actually fly back to your hand? What kind of weapon is this? Enelus asked with interest. Thor's hammer. After Lingfan finished speaking, he covered Thor's hammer with the armed color and swung it up again. It's that black thing again. It can touch my elemental body. You must not be hit. Enel carefully used his spear to start a close combat with Lingfan. Although you can see and hear haki, you really know nothing about armament haki, and even less about conqueror haki. Lingfan said while dodging Enel's attack. What is that? Enel didn't understand what Lingfan was talking about, and he didn't want to understand. In his eyes, Lingfan was just a powerful human inking hay. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't enter his eyes. Even if he defeated him, it was because he didn't use his full strength. However, Enel soon found that his attack could not hit the opponent at all. There was only one explanation for this situation. You also know the Heartnet. When I first met you, you could control fire and had an extremely powerful shield, and then your speed could become extremely fast. Now you can actually control lightning. Could it be that you are not a human at all? Are you also a god? The more Enel thought about it, the more possible it seemed. Since you are a god, it is normal for you to have so many magical powers. I can forgive you for everything you did to me just now. My invitation is still valid. You can go to the Infinite Land with me. Enel invited Lingfan again. Be your subordinate? I don't want to. Lingfan's attack became more fierce, and he rejected Enel. You don't have to be my subordinate. At most, we can be equals. Enel had already suffered some damage, and now he naturally took a step back. If you want me to go with you, you must call me Dad. Lingfan's attack became more and more fierce, and Enel was getting more and more unable to stop it. Asshole, you are playing tricks on me. Enel cursed. Yes. Lingfan admitted it openly, making Enel even more angry. Ha. You are so proud. This last move, you can't block it at all. Enel's expression changed, and then he pointed his index finger into the air, and a lightning bolt immediately rushed into the sky. Let's begin the banquet. Enel then changed his index finger into a palm, and countless lightning bolts immediately struck out from the dark clouds. Thunderbolt. Enel shouted, and the lightning bolts he created were released from the wide range of thunderclouds created by the Arc Maxim. The thunderclouds began to condense together and eventually turned into a huge spherical black cloud. The black ball was like a meteorite, and the interior was filled with amazing airflow and electric current. This black ball thundercloud fell from the sky, and its target was Lingfan. I wanted to use the thunderbolt created by my full strength to kill this country and its people, but your appearance made me change my mind. I will kill you first. That is my current goal. Enel smiled enthusiastically. Lingfan also looked at everything in front of him with some solemnity. Thunderbolt was the most powerful attack used by Enel using the Arc Maxim. Even the admirals of the navy might not be able to block it. An extraordinary attack. However, I can dodge it. Have you forgotten that I can teleport? Lingfen also asked this question. Then you better think about it. Those mortals on Angel Island will have to suffer for you. If Lingfen doesn't block this move, then the innocent people on Sky Island will have to bear such an attack instead of Lingfen. In that case, everyone, please take Robin away. Lingfen then summoned the Iron Man mecha back. Change. Lingfen now merged with Hulk, Deadpool, and Thor. The three heroes of the Marvel world were completely integrated into Lingfen's body. Lingfen also rushed directly towards Enel's thunder. I'll show you what is a real god. Lingfen finally crashed into the black ball of the wreckage. The power of the Hulk, the regenerated Deadpool, the invincible Thor, and myself. Lingfen burst out with an extremely terrifying King's aura, which was so powerful that it could steadily suppress Enel and make him unable to move. Thunder. Lingfen raised his Thor's hammer, and lightning was immediately projected from the dark clouds. With a crash, lightning was imparted to Thor's hammer, and Thor's hammer then transferred lightning to Lingfen's entire body. Lingfen transformed into a lightning man again, and shouted, "Break it for me." Lingfen swung Thor's hammer and smashed it hard on Lei Ying's black dark cloud ball. Boom boom boom. After Lei Ying's ball broke, a large amount of energy exploded again. If it weren't for Deadpool's regenerative power, Lingfen would have turned into ashes long ago. Break. Lingfen swung Thor's hammer again, and this time, the black dark cloud ball finally broke. This Enel didn't know what to say anymore. Is this something that humans can do? Even gods can't do it, right? Enel was silent. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 109 Shift Station. Enel never thought that his Arc Mantra would be destroyed so easily when he used his full strength to attack Fang Liang. He stared at Lingfen blankly. At this time, Lingfen's clothes were a little embarrassed, but his body was healed quickly, as if he had never been injured. What a powerful self-healing ability. Jin Shizi and others naturally noticed all this. Lingfen was not indestructible, but he could heal quickly, even if he was injured. This is an ability that makes everyone jealous. Enel, go to hell. Lingfen had no mercy at all, and teleported to Enel's side in the next second. Enel was in a state of distraction, and could not stay focused at all, so he could not activate the observation haki. With a puff sound, the sword in Lingfen's hand had already sunk into Enel's body. The sword covered with armed color can naturally easily touch the natural ability user. Not to mention that Enel has not been elementalized. Even if he has been elementalized, the final result is still being penetrated by Lingfen. Enel looked at Lingfen with a very desperate look and said with pain, "God of Infinite Land." Finally, Enel's eyes closed slightly, and Enel, who claimed to be a god, finally had no breath. Finally, he's dead. Lingfen thought that he had wasted too much time on Enel. Later, Lingfen learned that due to the completely different power systems of Marvel and One Piece, after the transformation, the system will balance the power of the transformation, so that it will not be too strong, and of course not too weak. After getting rid of the 4 great priests, the magic soldiers, and the god of Sky Island Enel, there are still the original god Ganful on Sky Island, as well as the Shandia warriors and the White Beret troops on Angel Island, but these are naturally not what Lingfen needs to worry about. In the following days, Lingfen focused on other things. First, Lingfen established a branch of the Avengers on Sky Island, and secondly, he locked his sights on the Arc Maxim. A ship like this was not originally meant to sail on the sea. Enel can use lightning to drive the ship. I think after our transformation, this ship can become more suitable for us. The brain of Iron Man that Lingfen has transformed into is at work. That's right, what Lingfen needs is not just a powerful fleet, but a group of air forces that can strike the enemy in the air at any time. So researching airships has become a top priority. Lingfen almost dismantled the Arc Maxim, and finally used the materials on the Sky Island to complete a small Avengers airship. This airship is not large and can only accommodate a small number of people, but it is a real airship. This is an airship that does not require a golden lion and has the ability to rise and fall freely. Jarvis, is there anything else that needs to be improved? Lingfan asked as he did the final test. No, it's not good or bad. For now, this airship is already very good. Jarvis replied. Not bad, but I still need more shipbuilding materials and helpers, so that I can make more airships, and then I can form my air force. Zero Fan's goal is naturally to form a super powerful armed force of sea, land and air, which will be invincible at that time. The Navy, the world government, and the 4 emperors will be defeated by Zero Fan. The question is, where can we get more shipbuilding materials and helpers? Jarvis asked. Lingfan responded, Water City, Carrara Company, although the shipbuilding master Tom is dead, Frankie, Iceberg and CP9 should all be there, right? Although I don't understand, but as long as you have a goal, there is no problem. In theory, if you find enough manufacturing materials and manufacturing personnel, you can use your design to complete the construction of an air force. Jarvis said. Lingfan nodded. Time waits for no one. In the last days on Sky Island, Lingfan and Robin visited Angel Island together and went to the ancient ruins and finally found the historical text and the words left by Roger. After storing the magnetic force of the recording pointer, Lingfan returned to the place where he came to the Bebe Sea. His observation haki scattered and he found the edge of the sea cloud. Then he controlled the warships and airships to return to Jare Island where he started. Then, he led his fleet to the new island. Because the magnetic force was stored, the fleet naturally had a very clear goal. The warships were like horses, galloping on the endless sea. After a few days, everyone came to the new island. Lingfan looked at the recording pointer and said, we have arrived at the new island. Here, we still need to set up a branch and stay for half a day. This island looks very strange, shaped like a long ring, but it is actually composed of 10 small islands. Seeing this, Lingfan naturally knew the name of this island, Changhuan Island. However, at this moment, there were not many people on Changhuan Island, only some islanders. After staying for a while, Lingfan left a small team of people, occupied Changhuan Island, and then continued his journey. After sailing on the sea for a few more days, Lingfan discovered an interesting creature swimming freestyle in the sea, and finally the frog stopped above the sea, staring in one direction motionlessly. Is this a horizontal bar? Tom's pet? Lingfan was familiar with the original work and naturally knew the plot, and then everyone heard it. Ding ding ding. The sound of a train running. It turned out that the sea train was whirring and smoking, and was running fast from a distance. The frog shouted loudly, preparing to stop the train with his body, but the final result was naturally being knocked away. Lingfan and others were paying attention to the sea train, and naturally someone was paying attention to them. A bear child with 2 ponytails saw Lingfan and others, and was frightened, because there were so many warships of Lingfan. Grandma, there are so many ships, said the little girl. What? A drunk woman fell to the ground. Lingfan had no ill intentions. He stopped his warships in place and brought Robin to the sea station. Hello. My name is Lingfan. I have no ill intentions. I just want to ask, how far is it from here to the water city? Lingfan asked. It turns out to be an ordinary traveler. My name is Kokoro, and this is Simone. Kokoro pointed to her granddaughter. The water city is not far from here. Simone said. I see. Thank you very much. I have some good wine and delicious food here. I'll give them to you. Lingfan was very generous, waved his hand, and his men brought the food and drinks over. Wow. It's delicious. The wine tastes good, too. The 2 of them and a kitten were all eating happily. What was that just now? Robin asked. The sea train, which is propelled by steam and runs on the sea track. It's the only one in the world here, Simone said with some pride. Chapter 110 Entering the Water City. Tracks? Robin asked. Yes, it's just a little bit below the sleeping area. The trains are running in the agreed area, transporting passengers between islands, and also carrying ships and some mail packages, Simone explained. Robin then took a few steps and saw the buoyant signal light. It's really dangerous. Lingfan, have you ever seen such things? Robin asked. Me. Ling Fan touched his head and said, I have seen it, but the tracks in my place are built on land. All trains are powered by electricity, and there are very few steam-driven ones. Is it your hometown, before you were 8 years old? Robin asked curiously. I guess so. Ling Fan could only evade the question. Where do you want to go? The Seven Water City refers to 7 places. If you take the sea train from here, the Spring Queen City, St. Poplar, the Food Town Butch, and the Carnival Town St. Falter are all good, said Granny Kokoro. Let's follow the record pointer and go east. Ling Fan replied. Oh, that's the place called Water City. It's a good place. It's a city with a very developed shipbuilding industry. The shipbuilding technology is the best in the world. The ships built there are for the dignitaries of the world government. Isn't it great? Granny Kokoro said proudly. So, there are shipbuilders and shipwrights, as well as all kinds of materials? Robin asked. Of course. That's where the world's strongest shipwrights gather. Granny Kokoro said. Great. Our goal is to build ships there. Thank you, Granny Kokoro. Ling Fan thanked him. Wait a minute, I'll get you something. Kokoro entered the house drunkenly and took out a piece of paper. This is a simple island map and a letter of introduction. Give it to a man named Iceberg and ask him to help you repair the ship. Water City is very big. Don't get lost. Granny Kokoro warned. Thank you. Ling Fan expressed his gratitude again. In the sea, there are people who take the initiative to attack without saying a word, and there are also people like Kokoro and Zamoni who like to help others. Goodbye. Robin Ling Fan waved, and then Robin and Ling Fan returned to their fleet. Let's go. Follow the position of the recorded pointer and continue to set off. We will soon reach the Water City. Then Ling Fan opened the map. Oh my god. It's really hard to guard against. Ling Fan said he was a little embarrassed. What's wrong? Robin looked at the map and then couldn't help laughing. After all, what Granny Kokoro drew was the same as if she hadn't drawn it. The weather was clear and cloudless. Ling Fan and his party went with the wind and soon saw the island. That should be the Water City. We're almost there. Speed up. Ling Fan gave the order, and the entire army began to move forward quickly. However, Ling Fan was thinking about a question in his heart. How could his fleet land in the Water City without attracting attention? After thinking for a long time, Ling Fan didn't have a reliable answer and finally had to give up. Forget it. Why think so much? I'm one of the 7 warlords of the sea, a strong man of my level. It should be easy for those people from CP9 to find me, right? Since I'm going to be found, I naturally have no choice. If the Navy and the world government dare to attack me and Robin, I will make them pay. Ling Fan showed a cold smile. The Water City is already within reach, and the seawater gushing upwards is crystal clear and extremely spectacular. After the seawater is sprayed out, the seawater flows down to form a waterfall, and the waterfall flows slowly into the sea through the water tank. Hey, are you a pirate? It's not good to enter from the front openly, or go around to the back street. A very ordinary fisherman reminded. Okay. Ling Fan, who had just arrived, naturally waved his hand, and the entire fleet turned around and prepared to pass through the back street. After the fisherman saw the densely packed warships, he became dumbfounded. This kind of fleet? I thought it was the Navy headquarters? Who on earth is this level of pirates? The fisherman was also terrified. Fortunately, I'm lucky. What if this guy is a ruthless character and kills me? Then I'll have died in vain. The fisherman was in no mood to fish. However, Ling Fan and others were very interested. They stood on the deck and looked around. After all, the surrounding scenery was really beautiful, with a strong feeling of the Water City of Venice. Interesting, won't the house sink into the sea if it soaks for a long time? Ling Fan asked casually. Robin answered with interest. This is a city picked up from a foundation that sank in the sea. Look at the cornerstone under the house. Yes, there are raised pillars under the house. Ling Fan nodded. Robin is still quite knowledgeable, so he can become a very young scholar. Hey, are you pirates? Are you here to kill people and set fires? Asked an uncle. We are just here to repair the ship. Ling Fan replied. In that case, there is a cape not far ahead. You can park the boat there. The uncle shouted. Okay, Ling Fan replied. Then, the entire warship entered the Water City in a mighty manner and came to the cape mentioned by the uncle. Although this cape was very unsightly and located at the back of the water city where no one cared, Ling Fan's purpose of coming here was not for war. The warship was moored in place and a group of men were left here to guard. Only the giants and Walpo were left as strong men and the others were free to move around. Ling Fan and Robin came to the blue rental house. "Welcome. Do you want to rent blue?" the uncle in the store asked very kindly. "How many people are there in your group?" the uncle asked. "2 people. Ling Fan replied. "Rent us an Agala blue that can be ridden by 2 people. Ling Fan was familiar with the plot, so he naturally said the types of blue. "Wow. It seems that you often rent blue. Come on, come with me and choose from the fish pond." Seeing that Ling Fan came with a purpose, the uncle naturally thought that Ling Fan was a regular customer. A total of 1000 baileys. "This is 5000 baileys. I want the best blue." Ling Fan is naturally wealthy, and the uncle's eyes lit up after receiving bailey. "No problem." Then the uncle naturally chose the best blue for Ling Fan. After all, it was a rental, so the uncle didn't feel bad. Ling Fan sat on blue, and Robin also landed on it. "Is there anything you want here?" Ling Fan asked. "If there are any books, do you mind if you buy some for me?" Robin said. "Of course." Ling Fan nodded. "And I'll give you a super detailed map." The uncle who rented blue also gave Ling Fan a map. Looking at the map, Ling Fan could travel more conveniently in the water city. The reason why this blue is called the best is that it is very strong, quite stable, and very human. Ling Fan said, "Let's go." This blue shuttled as fast as a horse. Chapter 111. Dock number 1 in the water city. Driving on the waterway of the water city in blue, passing through residential areas, people nearby would occasionally greet him. Suddenly, a fork in the road appeared, and the water flowed in different directions. Robin naturally asked, "There is a fork in the road, is it okay for blue?" Of course, blue is not only okay, but can also take a shortcut. After Ling Fan finished speaking, blue climbed up the waterway on the left as fast as lightning, and after passing the curves like a roller coaster, finally arrived at the shopping street. The shopping street was bustling, with medium-sized blue carrying passengers, and vendors riding blue on the river to sell goods, and the shops on the riverbank were also crowded with people. "Big sister, this is very cheap. How about this? Rare and good products. From now on, it's 50% off." The hawking sounds were endless, and it was the first time Robin saw such a lively scene. Freshly grilled takoyaki. "You want 2 servings of takoyaki?" Blue was obviously hungry when he sat down. Ling Fan would not let his mount go hungry, nor would he let him eat too much. "Give me 20 servings. Ling Fan bought a lot of takoyaki. In addition to the food for Robin and himself, he gave the rest to his mounts one by one. "Exercise well, and there will be more after digestion." Ling Fan encouraged him, and Blue under him naturally became more enthusiastic. "I didn't expect you to take care of animals," Robin praised. "Yes, I not only take care of animals, but also people." Ling Fan smiled slightly, and then said, "We should be almost at the shipbuilding island. Use the Watergate elevator." Ling Fan said, "What is the Watergate elevator?" Robin asked. "I'll know soon." Ling Fan drove Blue into the Watergate elevator. At the elevator door, a cute little sister shouted, "The elevator leads to the shipbuilding island. It will reach the shipyard in the central street of the water city. Please hurry up and enter the door. There is still 1 minute before the door closes." Soon, the door closed. Then, the seawater under Blue began to rise steadily and soon sent everyone to a higher position. "What a good idea." Robin was also amazed. The gate above opened again, and Ling Fan and Robin finally came to the central street of Water City. The surrounding buildings were stepped up from bottom to top, but there were relatively more land here. "What's going on there?" Robin pointed to the crowded place and asked. "I don't know. Let's go and see." Ling Fan and Robin got off Blue. Seeing a relatively friendly passerby, Ling Fan asked, "Excuse me, what happened here?" The uncle replied, "I heard that there are pirates making trouble in this dock again, but of course they were defeated by the boatmen. There are so many idiots." "Boatmen? Defeated the pirates?" Robin also felt very strange. "It seems that you are travelers?" "The boatmen of Carrara Company are the idols of the residents here. They are strong and skilled. They are the pride of Water City," the uncle said proudly. Only Lingfen knew the truth of this matter. CP9. If they dare to attack Robin. Lingfen made up his mind again. Let's go, Robin. We still have to find the iceberg. Lingfen didn't plan to watch the fun. Pirates making trouble in the water city was not uncommon. The final result was naturally that the pirates were defeated by the ship workers. However, at this time, Lingfen found something wrong. His observation haki was between the level of prying into people's hearts and predicting the future, and he could sense the malice of some people nearby. Now, Lingfen could feel more than 10 eyes staring at him. Robin, there are too many people here. Let's go to a street corner with fewer people. Lingfen said. This Robin also felt something was wrong. Shh, don't say more, just follow me. Lingfen then left the bustling street and came to a place with few people. The feeling of malice became stronger and stronger. Could it be CP9? Lingfen guessed. Swoosh. Lingfen took Robin and jumped into the gap between two houses. Those who followed Lingfen could not find the location of Lingfen and Robin immediately. It's not CP9. Lingfen had a clear view from top to bottom. Who are these people? Robin asked in a low voice. We will know soon. Lingfen did not move. Those people who seemed full of malice met in the alley and said, what happened? Why did the man and woman disappear? Yeah, I just saw them turn in. Did we let them slip away without paying attention? We must keep an eye on these two people. Since entering the water city, this man and woman have been very generous and feel very novel about everything around them. According to years of experience, it can be confirmed that they are in the water city for the first time in their lives. I don't know where these bumpkins came from. They have barely and no power. This kind of people is definitely our best target, the young man said. Lingfen realized that these people had been staring at him for a long time, but they had only been observing him before, and there was no malice. These people want to rob. They are very familiar with this place, and they should have stayed here for a long time. It seems that they are not from the world government or the navy. After Lingfen confirmed it, he naturally landed directly. These people were worried that they couldn't find Lingfen and Robin, so they were naturally ecstatic to see the two of them. Ha. So you guys are hiding up there. Quickly hand over all your belongings. The gang of robbers showed their vicious looks and put a knife to Lingfen's neck. 3-wheeled flower blooms. Robin knew that Lingfen was not going to hit him hard, so he crossed his hands and immediately made 3 hands on everyone. One hand was wrapped around an arm, and the middle hand punched everyone's back of the head, knocking everyone unconscious instantly. Isn't it too easy for them to do this? Lingfen asked. Kill them? Not necessarily. There is always the law here to deal with him. Robin used the 3-wheeled flower to tie up everyone with hemp rope and then wrote robber on it. Let's go. Robin then left with Lingfen. Lingfen and Robin returned to dock number 1 again. With Robin, Lingfen walked to the dock. At this time, a shipbuilder came out of the dock. Excuse me, what can I do for you? The shipbuilder asked. Although Lingfen knew the identity of the man in front of him, he did not expose it. He asked, we have 3 things. The first thing is that this is a letter of introduction. We want to find icebergs. The second thing is that we need to carefully repair our ship. The third thing is that I need to collect a large number of parts for manufacturing and hire the best hands to build a ship with me. Chapter 112 Robloxy appears. Don't worry, let me help you solve them one by one. Although the man was very young, he called himself Old Man. He wore a hat and had a long nose, a bit like Pinocchio. Obviously, this person was Kaku, one of the members of CP9. Kaku took Lingfen's letter of introduction and nodded. I see. It's the letter of introduction written by Granny Kokoro, but Mr. Iceberg likes to run around, and I don't know where he is. If you want to see him, you can only go with the flow. The second thing, do you want to repair the ship? Where is it? Kaku asked, while preparing the tools for repairing the ship and stretching his legs on the ground. There are many rocky capes. By the way, we have a lot of ships with pirate flags on them. Lingfen said in detail. Pirate flags? Pirates? It doesn't matter. For us, we are all guests. Kaku didn't seem to have any other intentions. As for the third matter, I will evaluate your ships first and then discuss with you in detail. Okay, then I will go and check the condition of the ships first. so that it will be convenient to talk to Mr. Iceberg later, and we can also discuss the repair costs. After Kaku finished speaking, he ran like Superman. Amazing. Robin was also shocked. It was obvious that this man called Kaku was not simple. That is one of the foremen of Dock Number 1, Kaku, known as Shanfeng. A man suddenly appeared and introduced. Robin and Lingfen turned around and found that there was an extra person behind them. This man had light blue hair and wore a red plaid suit. He said, in order to quickly build a faster and stronger ship, it is too late with the physical ability of ordinary people. By the way, Califa, this one. The woman called Califa had golden hair and wore a pair of light blue glasses. She looked gentle and refined. Califa looked at her information and said, we have already investigated. This is the god of change, Lord Lingfen, who is known as one of the 7 warlords of the sea. This is Robin, who was once known as the Devil's Son. Before Lord Lingfen became a 7 warlord, he had a bounty of 2 billion berries. He is an absolute pirate overlord. The woman called Califa said, really? He is actually a 7 warlord? Welcome to the water city. I just saw this mouse. His name is Tyrannosaurus Rex. The man touched the little white mouse in his chest pocket and said, we have to prepare food and a cage for him. The man said, it's ready, Mr. Iceberg. Califa touched her glasses and said, you are worthy of Califa. The man called Mr. Iceberg said admiringly. Lingfen frowned. He was not afraid of CP9, but at this moment, his and Robin's identities had been exposed. If everything was fine, Lingfen would not take the initiative. Okay, Kaku has gone to check the ship. The work is in progress. Don't worry, Mr. Iceberg said. I say, I have one more thing. I need to purchase a large number of parts and accessories that can be used for manufacturing. Can you meet my condition? Lingfen asked. Mr. Iceberg nodded and said, of course there is no problem. As long as you have enough funds, you can buy as many materials as you want. In that case, this is a list. In addition to renovating my warships, I need these things. In addition, I need to rent a dock. I plan to build a ship myself. Lingfen told his purpose in detail. Mr. Iceberg was also surprised and said, can you also build ships? It really surprises me. Yes, but I need the help of the water city. Your famous foreman must come to help me. I will design the ship and you will be responsible for the construction. There must be no problems. Don't worry, Bailey is sufficient. Lingfen said. Califa, calculate the cost. It seems that this person is serious. Mr. Iceberg has seen determination in Lingfen's eyes. Califa then began to draw on the paper with a pen, calculating. Not considering other expenses, the cost of renting a dock for 1 day is more than 3 million baileys. Califa said. Okay, I will pay you 300 million baileys. The ship will take at least 3 months to build. Lingfen said. There are other expenses that have not been calculated. We will talk about it later. Mr. Bingshan was very satisfied. He did not expect to encounter such a big order. At this time, Kaku also dropped from the sky. How is it? Ship? Bingshan asked. No problem. It should have experienced some wars and some surface damage. Even if this gentleman's fleet is fully repaired, it will not take too much time. Kaku said. That's great. In addition to repairing the ship, this gentleman also wants to build a ship. Sir, what parts do you lack? You can give it to Kaku. Mr. Bingshan said. Lingfen had already made the design drawings of the airship and sorted out the missing parts, so he handed the list to Kaku. Kaku was shocked when he saw it. Are you sure you want so many parts? There are too many materials, which is very expensive. Kaku was a little out of control. Kaku, don't be so rude. Bingshan reminded, and then took the list of materials and took a breath after reading it. This Lingfen persuaded. Don't worry, you don't need to worry about it. Just prepare these materials. The ship I designed will definitely be useful. You don't need to worry about how to use it specifically. After all, this is my privacy. Kaku looked at Iceberg, and Iceberg looked at Califa. We can't collect so many materials in a short time. Iceberg said helplessly. What? The dignified water city doesn't even have this little material. Lingfen said in disbelief. Of course, if we add the parts from the dismantling dealer Frank's family, it is estimated that it will be barely enough. If it takes more than 3 months to build a ship, we can also transfer some materials from other places. Many of the materials on this list are air products. The water city has never built such a large ship. Iceberg still couldn't believe it. The materials needed by Ling Fan far exceeded the standard for building a ship. Now you see it? Then quickly call the foreman and start collecting my materials, Ling Fan said afterwards. Then, open the door and go in quickly, Mr. Iceberg said, and then looked at the extremely tall door with one written on it. Then, 2 more people came. One had a golden orange slicked back hair named Barry. The other was a man wearing a hat, a dove on his shoulder, and a black hat. Ling Fan naturally knew that the person in front of him was the strongest CP9 in history. Robloxy. Chapter 113 Searching for Frankie. We'll help you open the door. Robloxy and Barry put their palms on the door of dock number 1, and then with a little force, the dock actually began to move. Don't look at them like this. They are actually the only 5 excellent ship repairers in the dock who can bear the title of foreman, and Kaku is one of them. The ship repairers here make a living by their abilities. Although they have strange personalities, they are also cared for, Mr. Iceberg said. According to reporters, this dock number 1 is the main staff of Carrera Company, which specializes in accepting the most difficult commissions. Come, please come in, Mr. Iceberg said very politely. The interior of the shipyard is naturally very spacious, and countless workers are working hard. They are building all kinds of ships. It's really spectacular. Robin also exclaimed. Come on, please come here. Iceberg is not only the mayor of the water city, but also the president of Carrera Company. It is natural that he will be praised. The working workers also respect Iceberg very much when they see him. It's Mr. Iceberg. Hey, the boss is here. Mr. Iceberg. Good morning. Everyone greeted him politely, and Mr. Iceberg responded with a smile. It seems that everyone respects you very much, Mr. Iceberg. Ling Fan also praised. Of course, in this city, technology represents everything. In the past, only the shipbuilding industry was developed on this island, and there were 7 shipbuilding companies competing with each other. At that time, he impressed the ship repairers with his genius shipbuilding technology. 5 years ago, he merged these 7 shipbuilding companies into one, which is the Carrera Company. His passion and technology for shipbuilding have not changed. The workers respect him very much, and the workers regard technology as an honor, so they are not afraid of pirates, nor do they succumb to power. This is such a place. Califer also smiled slightly, with a look of great respect in her eyes. Ling Fan thought, you acted really well. If I didn't know your true face, I would really think you were just ordinary people. Mr. Ling Fan, if possible, can you let me take a look at your design drawings? Mr. Iceberg asked, and then added, after all, we are building a ship for you. We also need to know whether the things we make can sail normally. Mr. Iceberg is right. If there is a problem with your design drawings, and we have no problem with our manufacturing, then if there is a problem, wouldn't it be a discredit to us? Barry said bluntly. Robin looked at Ling Fan, and Ling Fan nodded. Robin then handed over some of the component design drawings to Mr. Iceberg. This is a part of the design drawings. When the parts and materials are prepared, I will give you the main design drawings, Ling Fan said. Iceberg was also shocked when he took the design drawings. Are you sure this is the design drawing of a ship? It feels like a warship. It seems to be more sophisticated than a warship. Iceberg, as a shipbuilding tycoon, said so. Naturally it immediately attracted the attention of others. Robloxy and Barry also got a design drawing and took a look at it. Naturally, they did not hide their inner surprise. Is this really a ship? Only one part of it needs to be so precise? Barry was shocked. It seems that Mr. Ling Fan is a real person who does not show his face. The pigeon on Robloxy said. Huh. Same here. Mr. Lux's ventriloquism is also amazing. Ling Fan replied. Thank you Mr. Ling Fan for being so reasonable. You really have the design drawings. Then, as the world's #1 shipbuilding company, we naturally have to accept your big job. Iceberg nodded, which was considered to be agreeing and believing in Ling Fan. These drawings, you can divide them up. After these things are done, I will give the other parts to you to do, Ling Fan said. Understand, we want to thank you for your trust in us, and distribute these drawings to 5 foremen. Each foreman is responsible for one of the small modules, and I will supervise them personally. Iceberg also regarded Lingfan's order as the most important one. Lingfan was naturally very satisfied. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you all. However, you said that we need more materials, and we don't have that much now, right? The man called Frankie will have it, right? Lingfan asked. Yes, Mr. Lingfan, don't worry, we will communicate with Frankie. Mr. Iceberg said. Anyway, I'm free, I'll go talk to him, he should need money. Lingfan said. Luxie, can you accompany Mr. Lingfan? Iceberg suggested. No need, I'm one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Lingfan said lightly. Mr. Iceberg immediately wiped the cold sweat from his head and said, I'm sorry. Seeing Mr. Lingfan so humble and polite, I forgot that Mr. Lingfan is a pirate. Ha. Lingfan then teleported in front of Mr. Iceberg, and the samurai sword in his hand had already fallen on Iceberg's neck. Everyone was shocked, and no one reacted. What are you doing? Mr. Lingfan? Califa was also shocked, and Kakilachi and others were also very shocked. Even they did not see Lingfan's actions at all. If there is anything wrong with the words, please forgive me. Kaku also frowned and said, yes, we didn't offend you in any way, did we? Robluxy said. Bingshan didn't move. After all, life and death were in the hands of others. No, you didn't offend me. I just want to give you a warning. I hope you won't offend me in the future, because if you have any bad thoughts about me, I will cut off your heads immediately. Don't forget, no matter how easy I'm to talk to, I'm also a pirate, and a 4 Emperors level pirate. Killing you is as easy as sneezing. Lingfan's cold murderous aura instantly hit everyone. Except for Robluxy, everyone collapsed to the ground. It's almost time. I should go find Frankie. After Lingfan finished speaking, he put away Deadpool's samurai sword and left here on blue. Everyone collapsed on the ground, looking at each other. They who were never afraid of pirates actually felt powerless. It's okay. After all, they are Shichibuke. We just need to do the job at hand. Iceberg comforted. Frankie's family is easy to find. After all, they are one of the few ship dismantling companies in the entire water city. Taking the best blue, Lingfan and Robin quickly found the location of the house with Frankie family written on it. Are you sure it's here? Robin asked, looking at this very strange house. Strange exterior decoration. It says Frankie's house, and there is a star. It must be here. Knock on the door. We are not here to fight. Lingfan said. Chapter 114. Battle against Frankie. Knock, knock, knock. Robin knocked on the door. A giant man wearing goggles pushed open the door and asked, who are you? Who are you looking for? Business has come to our door, and we need a lot of materials. Robin took out a list and handed it to the giant. The giant touched his goggles and said, I see. Wait a moment. Brother Frankie. The giant ran in. Robin and Lingfan looked at each other, and the giant came out and said, hello, please come in and talk in detail. Why do I feel that you look very familiar? The giant asked in confusion. Maybe it's because I'm a pirate, Lingfan replied. Pirate? You are a pirate? The giant was shocked, and then asked, did you bring the material costs? Of course. Lingfan patted the suitcase in his hand and said. The giant then shouted, everyone. These 2 guys are pirates. They also brought a huge amount of cash. Really? Great. The attitudes of Frankie's brothers immediately changed 180 degrees. In their eyes, robbing pirates' money is not illegal, so they all revealed their greedy nature. Since you are pirates, then as long as we kill you, the money will be ours, right? Why do we need to provide you with materials? You should never reveal your identity as pirates. Now with just the 2 of you, how can you defeat so many of us? If you don't want to suffer, throw the suitcase over and get out of here. This way you don't have to suffer. Ha ha ha. A giant pirate put on a giant armor, and Frankie's brothers seemed to be outnumbered. Do you want to fight? Robin looked at Lingfan and asked. There is no need to fight against enemies of this level. Lingfan's level naturally disdained to fight with these bounty hunters. How dare you look down on us? Bastard. Everyone, attack. Frankie's younger brothers, who are usually bounty hunters who specialize in robbing pirates, were not ambiguous at all at this moment, and they all rushed towards Lingfan. With a swoosh, a shock wave erupted directly with Lingfan as the center. The shockwave was accompanied by an astonishing momentum and filled the entire Frankie's house with a thunderous posture. At this moment, everyone's eyes were white and their eyes lost their spirit. They lost consciousness one after another and finally fell to the ground. Conqueror's Haki? Robin asked. Yes, Conqueror's Haki is still very useful against such soldiers. Lingfen explored around and said, it seems that Frankie is not here. Maybe he went out to buy something. We will wait for him here. Lingfen and the others waited for a long time, but there was no sign of Frankie. Helplessly, they returned to their ship. After a nap, they heard that the iceberg was attacked. Mr. Iceberg was attacked last night. When he was found in the morning, he fell in a pool of blood. He is still in a coma and has not regained consciousness. I'm afraid that the shipbuilding will be temporarily put on hold. The person on the phone informed. Temporarily put on hold? Lingfen wanted to get angry, but there was no way, no reason to get angry, so he had to say, okay, I know. I wonder who attacked Mr. Iceberg? Lingfen asked. I don't know yet. The person on the other end of the phone said. Okay, goodbye. Lingfen hung up the phone, and things became confusing. It stands to reason that in the original book, Robin and CP9 attacked Iceberg, but Robin has always been with Lingfen and has never left Lingfen. Then who attacked Iceberg? Iceberg was attacked, and my shipbuilding plan was put on hold. Could it be Frankie? No, they are brothers. They are not stupid enough to attack each other. CP9. To let me stay? Why? Lingfen couldn't figure it out, no matter how hard he thought. Forget it, no matter how much, go to meet Iceberg. After Lingfen decided, he left Robin in his fleet. Next, leave the matter to me. I will find out who the murderer is. Lingfen patted Robin's shoulder and then flew to dock number 1. After arriving at the dock, he found that there were reporters everywhere, and everyone was eager to know who the murderer was. Please tell us something. Who is the murderer? How is it going? Because Bingshan was respected by everyone, countless people gathered in front of the gate of dock number 1 and surrounded him. It's really strange. I really don't know who it is and what he wants to do. Lingfen investigated for a long time, but didn't find anything. Then he decided to go to the mayor's room and go to look for Bingshan. Excuse me, how can I enter the headquarters? Lingfen saw an uncle and asked. It's useless. Only by entering dock number 1 can you enter the headquarters. Everyone feels the same as you. I also care about Mr. Bingshan very much. Really? Thank you. After Lingfen thanked them, he thought he could only use teleportation, so he teleported in. However, at this moment, a rhythm and a melody suddenly came from above, and everyone was very flustered after the sound sounded. No way. This kind of melody. Could it be? What this time? Ha. Did you guys call my name? A voice came from above. Who would call you? Get out of here. Someone has already recognized whose voice it is. Where on earth are you? Ah. There. Someone saw the source of the sound. At the highest point, 3 figures began to dance to the music behind a white cloth. I'm the most powerful man on this island. The boss behind the water city. The man wore black sunglasses, a red-bottomed yellow-leafed short-sleeved shirt, a necklace around his neck, a blue star on each arm, only a pair of underwear, and light blue hair. Everyone calls me Frankie. The man who called himself Frankie and the 2 twin sisters on his left and right put their arms together and posed in a cool way. After everyone saw Frankie, they were scared and ran away. Asshole. Are you Lingfen? You actually attacked my cute brothers! Exclamation mark. Unforgivable. Although my brothers are fine, he really loves to stir up trouble by bullying them when I'm not around. No. Frankie is going to make trouble. Everyone run away. The crowd who originally wanted to watch the fun immediately called themselves blue and stayed away from Lingfen in order to avoid being involved in the fight. It seems that you are not a reasonable person. I just want to do business with you, but your men wanted to steal my Bailey. I just knocked them out, which is already mercy. Lingfen explained. Then I will also show mercy and help them vent their anger. Then Frankie took a deep breath and spit out a huge flame. Cyborg. Fire fist. Lingfen leaped into the air and threw out a fire fist. The 2 flames collided with each other. That's pretty powerful. Frankie praised. Chapter 115. Battle against the Five Foremen. Lingfen floated in the air with flames all over his body and turned into a fireman with flames all over his body. The flames of the two collided with each other and spread to the surroundings. The surrounding waterways were burned by the flames, and the blues fled in panic because of the change in water temperature. It seems that you are not an ordinary person, but this cannot be a reason for you to bully my brothers. After Frankie finished speaking, he fell from the sky and rushed towards Lingfen. How many times do I have to say it to understand that I just want to trade, but your brothers want to rob me because I'm a pirate? Lingfen explained while dodging Frankie's collision, but Frankie was a cyborg, and while colliding, he shouted, "Strong right hand." His right hand stretched infinitely, connected by a chain in the middle. Lingfen's reaction ability is naturally different from that of ordinary people, and he used his flying ability to dodge this telescopic fist. "Since you are stubborn, then I will not show mercy." Lingfen thought that he must teach Frankie a lesson. Lingfen teleported to the gate of dock number 1, and seeing this, Frankie naturally swam here. The two then began to fight, and the more they fought, the more frightened Frankie became. "How did you know where I was going to attack? What's wrong with your speed? Why is it so fast? Are you also a cyborg?" Frankie began to guess randomly. "You don't know if you don't have domineering power," Lingfen replied. In just 1 minute, Lingfen punched Frankie more than a dozen times, and this was before he merged with other heroes, and Frankie didn't hit Lingfen with a single punch. Damn it. Damn it. I didn't expect you to be so strong. Forget it. No more. No more. Frankie was not stupid. Seeing that it was futile to continue fighting, he naturally waved his hand and gave up fighting. Seeing that Frankie gave up the fight, Lingfen naturally stopped because he had no deep hatred with him. "Now, are you willing to listen to me honestly?" Lingfen then told Frankie the whole story. Only then did Frankie admit that it was his subordinates who did something wrong. Then, next, "Are you willing to give me these parts?" Lingfen handed his list of materials to Frankie. Frankie was shocked when he saw it and said, "What? You actually need so many materials? Are you sure? This is a lot of money. Do you want to make this money?" Lingfen asked. "Of course." "Then shut up and help me find these things immediately. When the time comes, I will pay for them and deliver them at the same time." "Okay," Lingfen said. "Since you really want it, then I will prepare it." Frankie did not ask Lingfen what he wanted to do, but quietly took the list and left the scene. Frankie of course smelled the scent of Bailey in it and immediately went back with his twin sisters to sort out the materials. However, just after the battle with Frankie ended, the door of dock number 1 was suddenly opened and 5 people walked out from there. Although they were dressed differently, they were obviously familiar people. 5 foremen from dock number 1. "I wonder what you are doing here with murderous intent?" Lingfen asked. "Humph. You are just doing boring things. What is your purpose, Lingfen?" Berry, one of the 5 foremen, questioned. "What purpose?" Lingfen was also a little confused, but he always felt that what he had experienced was somewhat familiar. "Do you know what you have done? How dare you show up here?" Berry asked. "I came here after receiving a notification from Den Mushi. I wanted to see what Mr. Iceberg is like." Lingfen answered truthfully. "If you want to pretend to be confused, I will tie you up first." A rope came out of the sleeves of the blonde Barry. Rope manipulation. Barry swung out his rope and was about to strangle Lingfen's neck. Lingfen naturally grabbed the rope and then swung it, and Barry was thrown to the ground. "This guy. He is very strong. Be careful," Barry reminded. Bang bang bang. Bipple Lulu raised her hand and fired 2 shots. Lingfen's armed color was released, and he directly shot 2 bullets to the ground. At the same time, Lingfen appeared beside Lulu with a whoosh and kicked Lulu into the water. "You are worthy of being a Shichibuke. Let's see who is stronger." Torsten, one of the 5 foremen, picked up a wooden stake and rushed towards Lingfen. Lingfen naturally did not dodge, rushed forward, grabbed the wooden stake with his hand, and easily knocked Torsten away. At this time, Kaku also rushed up. Kaku fell from the sky, and Lingfen could clearly feel that Kaku was much stronger than the 3 just now. But in front of Lingfen, it was meaningless. Lingfen used a low attack and hardened his armed color. He not only resisted Kaku's moves, but also fixed Kaku's body and threw him over his shoulder. With a bang, Lingfen knocked Kaku unconscious on the ground. "I'll be your opponent," Luxie said, and quickly came to Lingfen's side. The two of them attacked each other at a very fast speed. In the end, Luxie never thought that he would lose to Lingfen in punches and kicks, and was finally knocked to the ground by Lingfen. "I don't know what you want to do. I'm a Shichibuke," Lingfen also reiterated. 7 warlords. So what? Who told you to attack Mr. Iceberg? The injured foreman told Lingfen the truth they thought, and Lingfen was very confused. Not only Lingfen was confused, but everyone else was also confused. "What? I attacked Iceberg? You dare to say that?" Lingfen said. "You don't have to frame me like this, right? I'm a Shichibuke. Why did you attack him? If I wanted to kill him, it would be easy, not sneaky, right?" Lingfen explained and thought at the same time. It was obvious that someone wanted to frame him, Lingfen, but Lingfen still couldn't figure out why. CP9 shouldn't be stupid enough to want to be my enemy, right? If I get angry, the world government and the navy will be in trouble, right? Lingfen shook his head. The plot development at this moment made Lingfen a little confused. Could it be that CP9 is acting on its own initiative? Want to put the blame on me? But why? Lingfen didn't understand and decided to go to the iceberg to ask for clarification at this moment. However, Lingfen wanted to leave, but the people didn't agree. After the 5 foremen came back, they blocked outside dock number 1, and when the people heard that Lingfen might be the murderer, they immediately scolded Lingfen excitedly. "Interesting, they actually incited the people to deal with me?" Lingfen couldn't kill all the ordinary people, and at this moment there was only one way. "Please let me go." Lingfen was shocked, and a surge of momentum pressed down on everyone around him, including Luxie, who couldn't control his body. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 116 Water Gods. What is this? The 5 foremen were hit head on. They had never seen such a powerful aura as Goose. This aura was so high above them that it completely crushed them and made them unable to move at all. Even the powerful foreman could not move, let alone the ordinary people. They were hit by the domineering aura head on. They fell to the ground one after another. Their eyes were scattered, and they lost their original spirit. Domineering aura. Luxie couldn't help but read the name of this thing. It seems that he is not an ordinary person. He has the king's qualification of domineering aura. He is definitely the overlord of the sea. Kaku seemed to know something about domineering aura, so he said, "Since you know this is domineering aura, you should fall down." Lingfen increased the output of domineering aura. In just a few seconds, the aura released by his body became stronger. Those auras pressed heavily on the remaining foremen. 3 of the 5 foremen fell down, leaving only Kaku and Luxie. "Does the world government want to be my enemy?" Lingfen asked directly. "We don't know what you mean, but those who deal with Mr. Iceberg are the enemies of our water city," Kaku said righteously, obviously too immersed in the play. Lingfen knew that they didn't want to expose themselves yet, so he put away his conqueror's haki and rushed over quickly, grabbing Kaku and Lux's necks with thunderous speed, and then slammed them heavily to the ground. With a bang, the 2 of them fell deeply into the ground. "Since you don't want to admit your identity, I can't say much. I can only knock you out first." After leaving a word, Lingfen controlled his body and quickly flashed into dock number 1, rushing towards Mr. Iceberg's mansion. However, Lingfen could not use Conqueror's haki to stun the entire water city, and it was inevitable that some fish would slip through the net. After those people avoided Lingfen's attack, they immediately began to spread the information. Soon, the entire water city had new news. Special report. Special report. According to Iceberg's testimony, we know who the murderer is. A newspaper seller shouted. "Who is it? Who attacked Mr. Iceberg? Go and inform the people in the town. Catch the murderer. Don't let them escape from Water City. Go catch the murderer. The murderer of Mr. Iceberg's attackers. Lingfen's Avengers Pirates." Lingfen naturally didn't know that he had become a celebrity in Water City. He entered dock number 1 and then easily found the big house in the center. However, there were naturally many guards from Water City here. It's Lingfen. Seeing that the people of Lingfen were rushing towards him like crazy, Lingfen had no choice but to use the old method and use teleportation to avoid everyone's sight. Iceberg, who was recuperating in the room, also heard the commotion. "I'm really sorry, it's too noisy outside," Secretary Caliphate said. "What happened?" Iceberg asked. "I heard that Lingfen of the 7 warlords of the sea invaded this house. Do you need to hide?" Caliphate asked. "No, Caliphate, can I trouble you with something?" Mr. Iceberg told Caliphate about his request. Then, Caliphate nodded. Lingfen happened to teleport in front of Caliphate, and Caliphate directly said to Lingfen, "Mr. Iceberg wants to see you." Then he took Lingfen to the house. Lingfen finally saw Bingshan lying on the bed. Mr. Iceberg broke the silence first and said, "Is there something you want to talk to me about?" "Mr. Lingfen, you are not here to kill me in the chaos, right?" Lingfen shook his head and said, "My purpose of coming here is just for those 3 things. You don't believe that I attacked you, do you? I saw Nicole Robin with my own eyes last night, and she is your accomplice. This is the truth." Mr. Iceberg said very firmly. "Robin? But Robin stayed with me last night and did not leave our fleet." Lingfen said, "You didn't sleep last night. You kept staring at Robin? Do you trust her so much?" Bingshan asked. This question stumped Lingfen. Lingfen was not always with Robin. If Robin wanted to commit a crime, she would have had the chance. "Your words are no longer convincing. I called you here because I have something to ask you. Let me see Nico Robin again." Mr. Iceberg said. "Is it because of Pluto?" Lingfen did not ask the reason, but directly said the word Pluto. "Sure enough, you know this thing." Mr. Iceberg's eyes were also full of disbelief. "Did you see it with your own eyes last night? Was it me who did it?" Lingfen asked. "I can't confirm that it was you, but Robin was with that person, and you were Robin's companion, so it's naturally your fault." Mr. Iceberg said. "I'll say it again. Let me see Nico Robin again." Mr. Iceberg pointed the gun at Lingfen and threatened. "Are you going to threaten the 7 warlords of the sea?" Lingfen's eyes became colder and colder. "As the mayor, CP9 has been lurking around you for so many years, but you didn't know it, and didn't know right from wrong." Lingfen shook his head and said, "Then I'll go first." Lingfen naturally planned to go back to the ship and ask Robin. It was not that he didn't trust Robin, but he thought that CP9 and others should have said something to Robin. However, when Lingfen came to the warship, he found that Robin had disappeared. "Zoro, Red Earl, have you seen Robin?" Lingfen asked carefully, but everyone said that they didn't see Robin. No problem. It seems that CP9 must have said something to Robin. At this time, Lingfen naturally had to find Robin first. However, the surrounding winds were strong, and many navigators who were familiar with water and weather said to Lingfen, "Lord Lingfen, the weather is not right. If the wind is still so strong, it is easy to cause a tsunami. Although we are a warship, it is also easy to be swallowed by that tsunami. Damn, are the gods of water coming soon? No wonder there are so few people on the street. The most urgent thing is to move the warships to a safe place as soon as possible." Lingfen is the leader of the pirate group, so he naturally has to put the overall situation first. "Lord Shiki, I'm going to trouble you again." Lingfen used Shiki's power to touch all the warships, and then use the power of the Golden Lion's floating fruit to suspend all the warships. The Golden Lion was exhausted, but only by doing so could Lingfen's fleet be prevented from being swallowed by the tsunami. After finishing all the things, Lingfen knew that he had to find Robin immediately. "Water City is too dangerous. Are you sure you want to go?" Zoro asked. "Of course, Robin is still there. We escaped from O'Hara together." Lingfen naturally wanted to find Robin. Chapter 117, Mayor Iceberg's Residence. "Since you have made up your mind, then I, as your subordinate, cannot stop you." Zoro naturally knew the relationship between Robin and Lingfen. "But as a friend, I must go with you." Zoro said. "No need, things are very strange, and it will be even more unclear if you go." Lingfen dissuaded Zoro from going with him. "Leave it to me. We have been waiting for Robin to come back for many years. This time we must not let her leave us. Don't worry, I will bring Robin back intact. Lingfen said very firmly. In this case, do you need other people? Zoro asked. I can do it alone. Lingfen then jumped down from a high altitude. Jarvis! Lingfen shouted loudly, and the black suitcase in his hand immediately turned into the parts of Iron Man and began to fly towards Lingfen at a high speed. Before landing in the water city, Lingfen had already turned into Iron Man. This time, we must go to Iceberg's mansion and find Robin. After making up his mind, Lingfen flew over dock number 1 and flew straight to Mr. Iceberg's mansion. When he arrived outside Mr. Iceberg's mansion, Lingfen saw a large number of guards who were obviously on guard against him. Jarvis, start the eavesdropping mode. After Lingfen finished speaking, there was a conversation in the lighted room. Hey, Califer, there is no need to do this, right? Just hand over the guards to some people. Isn't it a bit too much? Iceberg said. Everyone is spontaneous. Califer explained. It's just like the king, by the way. Why is there a wanted order for Nico Robin in Mr. Iceberg's room? Califer asked. Curious. Iceberg glanced at Califer and asked meaningfully. Califer pushed her glasses and said, a little bit. Hasn't Iceberg noticed Califer's abnormality yet? Was it in vain to remind him before? Lingfen lay on the roof, carefully waiting for the opportunity. It's better not to know. She is a demon. Mr. Iceberg evaded the question. Lingfen noticed someone at this time and immediately lay on the roof, trying to hide his figure. It's Robin and CP9. What exactly do they want to do? Because the plot has changed, Lingfen can't guess how things will develop. Califer. Iceberg, who was lying on the bed, shouted. Yes. Sorry, can you leave for a while? And, go call Barry. Iceberg ordered. Yes. Califer looked at Iceberg and then walked out of the room. Barry, Mr. Iceberg said that he has something important to tell you. You are alone. I'm in the secretary's office. Call me if you need anything. After Califer finished his order, he turned and left. Just me? Barry also felt a little strange. What is the matter of suddenly talking to you two alone at this time? Kaku also asked very curiously. I don't know. Barry shook his head, and at the urging of others, Barry walked into the room. The other 4 foremen stayed outside and began to discuss information about Lingfen. Listen carefully, Barry. Mr. Iceberg began to quietly instruct Barry. The voice is very low. Jarvis, turn up the volume of the monitoring. Lingfen said. No problem. Jarvis then turned up the volume, and the sound was then very clearly transmitted to Lingfen's ears. There is a safe right under the table in the president's office, where the carpet is lifted. I'm going to tell you the password. You remember it. First turn right to 6. Lingfen naturally remembered all the details of the conversation, but Lingfen did not intend to take the initiative to go forward, but continued to pay attention to the movements around him. Robin was standing with CP9 personnel on the high-rise building opposite, and I didn't know what to do. After talking for a while, Barry came out and said, sorry, I have something urgent and want to leave for a while. Is everything okay? It doesn't matter, the 4 of us are enough. Mr. Iceberg, I'll leave it to you. Barry instructed, and then left. Lingfen focused his attention outside, only to hear the masked man say, in the name of CP9, is it okay? Nicole Robin? No problem. Robin nodded, and then there was a bang. Suddenly, thick smoke billowed, and a violent explosion occurred in front of Mr. Iceberg's mansion. Countless people who spontaneously stopped to protect Iceberg were blown away. There was an immediate commotion among the crowd, but they were still very orderly. Bring water. Move the injured to a safe place, quickly. Come and put out the fire. Artillery fire? No, there are no shells flying from anywhere. It was placed in advance. Put out the fire. There was a panic at the front door, and then the masked man said, that's a signal. Let's go. Then the two jumped off the tall building and sneaked into the mayor's mansion. We must not let them invade our company. It is very likely that it is Lingfen and his men. There are many people on their fleet. Everyone must not take it lightly. Lingfen, who was on the roof at the moment, patted his head and said, what a bunch of idiots. If I take action, would it be necessary to go through so much trouble? My men can even capture a country, let alone a water city. If it were not for finding out the purpose of Robin and CP9, Lingfen would not bear this blame in vain. Then, only Kaku and Robluxy were left at Mr. Iceberg's door. Robin and the masked character cut through the thorns and invaded the house very smoothly because they had planned it early, but in the end they were blocked in a corner because of the large number of people in Karara Company. The masked man threw out his cloak and countless bullets pierced the cloak, but in a flash, there was nothing behind the cloak. Lingfen saw everything very clearly. So that's it. This seems to be the same as the original. It's the owner of the door fruit, the bar owner Bruno. It's a fruit ability similar to teleportation. It's not easy to catch it. Lingfen still didn't take any action and continued to monitor everyone's activities. At this moment, Berry finally opened the safe. Is that it? Finally, he heard a voice behind him. Oh, is that what Iceberg has? If you give it to us, you won't be able to find its value. Berry was shocked. His whereabouts were exposed. So that's it. Now I roughly understand that CP9's goal is still Pluto's design. Robin may just be a pawn they want to use. Lingfen guessed. Who are you? Where did you come from? Berry asked. Both figures wore strange masks. We came from the darkness, but no matter what, we are also the executors of justice, the mysterious organization CP9. The masked man said. Chapter 118, CP9's reunion. No matter how you appear, you should have run into our boatman. Berry said. Really? It seems like we did, but it seems like we didn't. I can't remember clearly. The masked man said. Blood was flowing from his left hand. Berry naturally realized something, and his face changed drastically. This is not just an assassination. Berry said. We didn't say we wanted to assassinate. Anyway, give us the valuables in Iceberg's hand. And you who know these things, die for me, in the name of justice, right now, here. Robin and Bruno had also invaded Mr. Iceberg's room. After Bruno touched the wall, Robin pushed it open, and pushed the wall in the corridor. Iceberg was shocked and said, I was shocked. Although I knew you would come, I didn't expect you to come from such a place. Did you use the same method last night? It's the door fruit. No matter how hard the wall is, the part one touch will become a door. As long as there is a wall, I can enter and exit freely. Then Bruno raised the gun in his hand and shot at Mr. Iceberg's shoulder. Iceberg immediately covered his shoulder and fell under the bed. Robin persuaded him. What are you doing? The signal should not have come yet. I just weakened the person who still had the energy to speak, just like a chef cannot slack off when preparing ingredients. Bruno said. Before the agreed signal arrives, it is professional to prevent accidents and show no mercy to make the opponent unable to move. Bruno explained. Is this the method of CP9? Mr. Iceberg asked. You are very smart. That's right. Bruno didn't expect that Iceberg saw the true face of CP9 in an instant. Alas, I did something bad to Lord Lingfen. Is he really nothing to do with this? Iceberg regretted that he shouldn't have wronged Lingfen so easily. It doesn't matter, you just told the fact that you saw me last night. Robin said. Is this also part of the battle? Iceberg asked. Yes, we'll let you live, so that the Shichibuke can take the blame. If you are killed suddenly, we will lose the whereabouts of our target, the design drawings of the ship. Bruno said. That is something passed down secretly from generation to generation among shipbuilders. As long as you feel your life is in danger, you will hand it over to someone else. Then the person you choose is Barry, the foreman of dock number 1. Our men are rushing there now. Is everything under your control? Mr. Iceberg never thought that what Lingfen said about CP9 lurking around him was actually true. Don't make any mistakes until the end. I'll kill the shipwrights outside the door. Bruno walked out. Nico Robin, this man is left to you to deal with. If you get the design from Barry, the two will contact me. At that time, you will take Iceberg's life. Then, as long as you kill Barry who knows the truth, the mission will be completed. All the charges will be borne by Lingfen, the 7 warlords of the sea. Bruno finished everything and did not forget to cover up his identity for his teammates. Lingfen knew that Robin would not attack Iceberg for a while. Bruno acted outside the door again, defeating Kaku and Luxy one after another, and then defeated Deluston, one of the 5 foremen who rushed forward. Iceberg inside the room was also ready to get rid of Robin. After all, Robin was the only person in the world who could interpret the historical text and the only one who could revive ancient weapons. So, you have left Lingfen and joined the government? Anyway, the ancient relics should not be awakened. After all, I have the design of Pluto. Pluto is the name of a warship built on this island in ancient times. The shipbuilding technicians who once built overly powerful weapons felt that if this power began to run wild, they must have a force to counter it. So the design was passed down from generation to generation. The government now has its eyes on him and finally came to rob him. It is really stupid to assist them without knowing such a thing. The man named Tom who gave me the design has always been very concerned about the only girl who survived the O'Hara incident 20 years ago. Although she is still young, she is indeed a dangerous child with the same thoughts as the demons of O'Hara. So I, who inherited the will of the Maker, have the obligation to stop you. Now that the design has been targeted by the government, it should have been burned. I didn't do this, because as long as you are there, the possibility of the weapon reviving will not disappear. Iceberg seemed to have made up his mind. However, Robin naturally subdued Iceberg easily. Is this all you want to say before you die? Let me tell you, even if you want to kill me to stop the weapon from reviving, if your design drawings are stolen, won't the result be the same? Then let me say something again. You are the ones who fell into the trap, Iceberg said. At the same time, the two masked guys defeated Berry and finally looked at the damaged drawings and said, "This is a pure fake." What? You said fake? Question mark? Dare to do such a stupid thing. One of the masked men said, "Although I don't know who you are, you failed in the operation. You deserve it. It's a pity. I don't even know what you are looking for. You are so self-righteous. Do you want to get rid of us CP9 like this? Even if you are a bait, if you get involved with us, you will not survive." CP9 obviously wants to take the life of the person in front of them. Forget it, just help him. Ling Fan knew that he had changed the plot, so he suddenly teleported down from the air. The two CP9s naturally focused their attention on Ling Fan. CP9, you don't want to kill him, he is the only one who can prove my innocence. Ling Fan stood in front of Barry. Ling Fan. Sir? Why are you here? Barry asked. Oh, are you here to take the blame for us? Lanjiro. The masked man kicked out during the conversation, and Ling Fan immediately kicked him with his legs. Bang, bang. CP9 didn't expect Ling Fan to be so strong that he could stand up to Lanjiro. Iron block. Another masked man took this opportunity to suddenly punch Ling Fan, but Ling Fan ignored him and covered himself with armed color domineering. Then there was a bang, and the masked man seemed to hit an extremely hard mountain. This guy is so strong. No, retreat first. The two CP9s immediately turned around and left. Ling Fan was not in a hurry to catch them, because they would never be able to escape from Ling Fan. There was a little accident in the operation. Don't kill Bingshan. Wait for our reunion, the Minotaur said, and then quickly rushed to the room on the ice with the Skull Mask Man. The other CP9s naturally gathered together and came to Bingshan's room. As for Ling Fan, he simply helped Berry deal with his wounds. Berry said that he had to come together, so Ling Fan had no choice but to go to Bingshan's room with Berry. Chapter 119 Pluto Design. At this time, CP9 has revealed their identities. The pigeon flew to the shoulder of the masked Minotaur, who took off his mask and revealed Lux's face. The other person wearing a skull mask was naturally Kaku. It's all your fault. The government asked you to hand it over, but you didn't, so it became like this. Kaku said, "If possible, I don't want to hurt you. I want to leave a good memory in this city." Secretary Califa took off her headgear and pinched her glasses with her hands. "Is your stubbornness also inherited from your master?" Bruno was naturally the one who came in with Robin at the beginning. "Are you all from the government?" Iceberg also looked unbelievable. "Yes, lurking and so on is effortless for us, but your shrewdness is really admirable." "Okay, Mr. Iceberg, please tell us where the design drawings of the ancient weapon Pluto are before a large number of victims appear," Robluxy asked. However, at this moment, Bingshan simply could not accept this fact. "We have been lurking for 3 years. Please rest assured that we have not slacked off in our work. We know that you are depressed now, but the deadline for our mission is coming soon. In order to complete the goal, we can only do our best. It is better for you not to make unnecessary resistance. Robloxy said. You should have heard of the name Cypher Pol, which is commonly known as CP1 to CP8. There are 8 bases in the world. It is the best intelligence agency of the government. As long as it is ordered by the government, it will find out any intelligence in any place. Luxy said. I know, but it only goes up to CP8. Right, but we are CP9, the 9th Cypher Pol that should not exist, because we have some kind of privilege, so we cannot disclose our identity. Luxy said. Privilege? Yes, no matter what, we are in the name of justice. We have the power to execute citizens who do not cooperate with the government's work on the spot. Luxy said. Who will accept that you kill people under the banner of justice? Exclamation mark. Iceberg argued. Some people in the world government have changed their minds. Instead of being afraid of the resurrection of weapons all day long, they might as well awaken the weapons, put an end to this great pirate era, and make them a force for justice. But you don't want to help us. You don't intend to save the people in the world who are still hurt by pirates. Robloxy said. Impossible. Once the weapon is resurrected, the world will continue to fight for its power, and Shanghai will only continue to expand. Iceberg said with great resistance. It seems that you don't believe in the government, Mr. Iceberg. Robloxy looked at Iceberg and said. I just know human nature, kid. Iceberg said. Luxy heard this and knew that Iceberg could not tell him the location of Pluto's design drawings, and then kicked Iceberg in the face and knocked him to the ground. Be careful with what you say. Do you think you are still our boss? Luxy then said. Kaku, take his pulse. Mr. Iceberg, actually we have just come up with a hypothesis. Don't worry, we will not torture you next. You just need to listen to our hypothesis quietly. Luxy then turned around and faced Iceberg and said, your blood will definitely tell us the truth. Then tell us a hypothesis in order. First, you asked us to get the fake design drawings. I have doubts about this. You speculated that the criminal who wanted the design drawings was a government official, so you deliberately pointed out where the fakes were hidden. But what if this is not the case? If it was just your enemy who came to kill you? The real design drawings will lose their holders, and they will not be passed on. You are not stupid enough to not think of this and understand this, but you haven't handed the real design drawings to anyone tonight. In other words, you actually entrusted it to someone else a long time ago. At least it is no longer in your hands. Can I think so? Robloxy asked. Mr. Iceberg tried to resist, but was pulled over fiercely by Kaku. It's useless. Don't resist. Kaku warned. It's just a possibility. Of course, I have no evidence. During the past 3 years, we have not found any evidence of your actions within the scope of our surveillance. Moreover, the person who is entrusted with the design drawings must at least have the skills of a shipbuilder. Let's continue with the assumption. Robloxy continued. This is the fake design drawing we just got. After a careful look, the designer's name is on it, Tom, Iceberg, Caddy Frame, and Tom's studio is signed below. Maybe you want to use this fake design drawing to lure out the enemy, but you never dreamed that the enemy is right next to you. This is your miscalculation. You just want the design drawing. For the invaders yesterday and today, this kind of thing may be just a stack of waste paper, right? But for us who have lived in this town for 3 years, the name of this designer is really interesting. The legendary shipbuilder, Tom's studio led by Tom, is really a mysterious shipbuilding company. It should have existed on this island, but even the roster and household registration are gone. It took us a lot of effort just to guess that you are Tom's disciple. According to the government report, Tom only had 2 disciples. One died in an accident 8 years ago, and the government has confirmed it. But I think the name Cadiframe is very familiar. In the past, a man walked into the gate of Carrara to visit you. He said his name once. That is to say, Tom's other disciple Cadiframe is still alive. He is still in this town, and has changed his name to Frankie. Kaku was able to confirm the truth of the matter by taking his pulse. It seems that our guess is correct. Frankie, we can't find out its origins, no matter how we check. The person in charge of the dismantling is so domineering, but he is not self-righteous. I see. We have always only speculated based on facts. We didn't expect that he was related to the dead. It was our biggest mistake. As for the Frankie family, they can sell wood to our shipyard. As long as we plan well, there will be countless opportunities to hand over the design drawings to him. Think about it carefully. He is the person around you who is least likely to arouse suspicion. If the design drawings are not in your hands, your tough attitude just now can be understood. If the person who entrusted it is your only junior brother, it makes sense that you did not entrust it to any foreman of Carrara. In this way, all the speculations are connected. In addition, your blood is boiling, proving that I was right about everything. Rob Luxey also said very firmly, you are not guilty. It is natural for a flesh and blood person to be unable to conceal his inner turmoil on such an eventful night. Rob Luxey said. Chapter 120, Battle against CP9. Thank you for your care. You are no longer useful. Kaku said. Go find Frankie. Califa said. You guys. Bingshan didn't know what to say. However, at this moment, a big hole was cut in the wall of the room, and a figure slowly walked out in the smoke and dust. Lingfen. Robin's mood was very complicated. She hadn't thought about how to face Lingfen. Luxey turned and looked at Lingfen. At this time, Berry looked around and was a little confused. Mr. Iceberg, what is going on? Luxey said, oh my. Mr. Iceberg looked at Berry and said, Berry, why didn't you run away? What's the situation? It seems that these guys are the murderers who want to take your life. At this moment, Berry still couldn't accept it and shouted angrily, why are you dressed like this? Califa, Bruno, Kaku, Luxey, don't joke with you. Berry said emotionally. Lingfen shook his head and said, Berry, don't you understand yet? The people who just attacked you are Luxey and Kaku. These people are CP9, who have been lurking in Carrara for a long time. The people who attacked Iceberg are these people. I can't believe it. Berry still couldn't believe it at this time. Berry, he is right. In fact, we are spies sent by the government. If we apologize, will you forgive us? After all, we were partners who worked together day and night to build ships. If you can't accept it for a while, I can prove it to you by stepping on Iceberg's face. Rob Luxey said very coldly. What a joke! Exclamation mark. It's enough. Because your voice is the same as the one wearing the bull mask just now. Damn it, you can talk. How dare you play tricks on me? Exclamation mark. Berry rushed towards Luxey emotionally. Stop it, Berry. Iceberg persuaded. Rope knife whip. Berry threw his weapon at Luxey, but Luxey's speed was obviously faster. He disappeared in an instant and came to Berry as if teleporting. Finger gun. Luxey used his right index finger to directly pierce Berry's right chest, and Berry was in great pain. Don't you want to learn your lesson, Berry? Luxey asked. Berry then knelt on the ground with all his strength, forcing himself to hold up his body. Why? You guys don't force it. We all have tricks that surpass the limits of human beings. This is a martial art that, after long-term training, is a human body that is strong enough to rival weapons. There are 6 styles. Luxey said, anyone who masters it can defeat 100 people. Why, you forget it. You're going to die anyway, my poor friend. Luxey planned to kill Berry in an instant. Asshole. Luxey. Iceberg also had a premonition that something bad was going to happen. However, at this moment, a voice was heard. Don't be too presumptuous in front of me. Lingfen used Deadpool's ability to teleport to Lux's side and punched him. Lux's reaction speed was also very fast, but he didn't expect Lingfen to have the ability to teleport. For a moment, he could only dodge Lingfen's attack. However, he never thought that Lingfen's first attack was fake, and the release of armament haki was real. Luxey dodged Lingfen's attack, but he didn't expect that an invisible attack suddenly attacked him, and immediately knocked him back a few steps. What? Luxey was shocked. He had never heard of invisible attacks. The attack used by Lingfen was naturally the release of armament haki, a method of using invisible armament haki to carry out invisible attacks. Even Barrett didn't master this trick. When Luxey then focused his attention on Lingfen, he found that Berry and Iceberg had been rescued to the other side by Lingfen. What a fast speed. I didn't see him move at all when he came. What's going on? Luxey forced himself to suppress his inner surprise, but he couldn't figure out why for a moment. Why did you help Berry and Iceberg? Don't they all suspect you of being the murderer? Kaku asked. I just don't like you guys. Robin, why are you with CP9? Is there something you can't tell me? Lingfen asked. Robin, can't be hard-hearted to Lingfen. After all, Lingfen is someone who has experienced the past with Robin. I have to be with them because there is a very important reason for this. I'm willing to do anything. Robin also pretended to be resolute. I see. Lingfen nodded, not quite understanding. Sorry, let's stop here. We have to find an important person. We are busy. Everything is fine here, and you are completely useless. Califer, how long will it take? Luxie asked. Califer looked at the watch and said, 2 minutes. Although it happened suddenly, in 2 minutes, this place will turn into a sea of fire. To destroy all kinds of evidence, fire is the most effective. If you don't want to be burned to death, leave here quickly. Of course, it depends on whether you are worthy of the title of Shichibuke. Luxie left a cruel word. Goodbye Robin, then opened the window and left. What a headache. It seems that Robin is willing to become my enemy for some things. Lingfen patted his forehead. Bruno, Califer, and Kaku attacked Lingfen. Moonstep, Iron Block, Storm Kick. Bruno dropped from the sky and used the Iron Block, punching it down, while Kaku and Califer in front of him used the Storm Kick together. Interesting. Lingfen drew out his double swords and spun like a tornado. Even the Storm Kick and the 6 styles had no effect. As for Bruno, he was directly bounced away by the huge tornado. As expected of the 7 warlords of the sea, such a powerful whirlwind can be generated with a sword. Kaku and Califer looked at each other and used the shave together again, rushing towards Lingfen at the fastest speed. Fusion. Lingfen merged with Quicksilver, and then his speed immediately reached supersonic speed. Although the 2 people in front of him were very fast, in Lingfen's eyes, they were not much faster than the turtle at this time. Use Quicksilver's ability to seriously injure you first. Lingfen then swung his samurai sword and easily slashed Bruno, Kaku and Califer. Finally, he tied up the 3 people easily using Bera's rope. The 3 CP9 members originally wanted to use shaving to kill Lingfen, but suddenly a painful feeling came, and blood suddenly splashed on their bodies. Finally, when they fell to the ground, they found that they had been tied up by ropes. What is this? What's going on? I can't catch his movements with my eyes. Mr. Iceberg was also shocked. That's my rope. When? This level of speed can't be called fast, right? Exclamation mark. Berry couldn't believe it at all. What's going on? He lost before he even made contact? The 3 were very puzzled. Chapter 121. Subjugating Kaku. I should have said it before, right? I'm a Shichibuke. Lingfen frowned and said, don't look down on me. Paper drawing. Califer, Bruno, and Kaku used paper drawing together, and their bodies floated like paper. The 3 of them were CP9 after all, and naturally had their own abilities, so they escaped from Lingfen's ropes. I know you are a Shichibuke, but if you don't want to die in the sea of fire, you better leave here honestly. Kaku then kicked again. At the same time, Bruno opened a door and rushed in with Califer, and Kaku became a victim. Your teammates abandoned you. Lingfen said. This is just our plan. Kaku didn't plan to leave. Since you want to fight, let's fight. Lingfen was ready to kill Kaku as quickly as possible. Berry, take Iceberg away first. I will defeat Kaku here. Lingfen said. I'm not that easy to defeat. Kaku said as his body changed. Unlike the original, Kaku now had the power of the devil fruit. His body slowly became huge and eventually became something like a giraffe. The NIU fruit in the form of a giraffe? An animal type devil fruit user? Lingfen was not very surprised. Although Kaku had become very huge, his body was more flexible. 6 styles, shave, finger gun, nose gun. Kaku turned into a giraffe and then used his nose to poke Lingfen. It's true that Kaku's fruit plus the original 6 styles increased his overall strength by a level. However, he was still too naive to deal with Lingfen. Lingfen had already mastered the 3-color domineering and had so many superheroes. At this time, he had merged with Hulk and Thor, and his whole body was covered with armed color domineering. There was no need to say more. The hammer in his hand had already swung over. Although Kaku was very strong, he couldn't break Lingfen's defense at all. With a sound of ding dong, Kaku's so-called nose gun attack failed. It hit Lingfan's body, and not only did it not cause any damage, but it made Kaku himself cry and nose run. You're done attacking. Next, it's my turn to attack. Lingfan then threw out the Thor's hammer in his hand. Seeing this, Kaku naturally used shaving, and easily dodged Thor's hammer. However, after Thor's hammer marked Kaku, it naturally continued to fly towards Kaku, and Kaku suddenly realized, this guy's hammer has an automatic tracking effect? What kind of strange weapon is this? I'm actually running around. Kaku also said in disbelief. No matter. I'll destroy this hammer. Storm kicks are doing. Kaku spun around like this, and Lingfan realized the horror of this move, so he naturally stood up and jumped to completely avoid it. Thor's hammer was also sucked back into Lingfan's hand. Looking at everything around him, Mr. Iceberg's mansion was actually split into two, and the upper and lower parts were completely separated. Sure enough, it's a terrible move, but it's useless to me, Lingfan said with an expression that showed no fear at all. Huh? Are you kidding me? I don't believe it. Kaku sneered at what Lingfan said. If you don't believe it, you can just use it on me once, and I won't resist. Lingfan then said, but, if you take this move from you will no longer be a part of CP9. You will become a part of my Avengers. Are you willing? Ha 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 ha. My attack will definitely cut you in half. Since you are willing to take it, then of course. Once a word is spoken, it can't be taken back. If I lose, I will join your organization, but if you lose, you will pay the price with your life. Kaku said, I know, go ahead. Lingfan is naturally a fusion of Wolverine, Deadpool and Hulk, and his whole body is covered with black armed color at the same time. The whole person transformed into the Devil mode. This mode is both offensive and defensive. Armament Haki is more advanced than the Iron Block in the Navy 6 styles. Iron Block only turns the body into iron, while Armament Haki can make the body extremely hard, reaching a level far beyond steel. Ray kicks Dragon Break. This time Kaku did not use Zao Break, but Dragon Break. Dragon Break is a full strength jump, using storm kicks vertically, making it difficult for the target to escape and dodge. It seems that this guy's also working hard on this attack, but unfortunately, with Wolverine, Deadpool and Hulk, my physical strength has reached an almost invincible state. No matter how terrible the attack falls on me, it will not have the slightest effect. Lingfan is very confident, and Kaku is even more confident. The strength of CP9 and others is better than that of Enel and Crocodile to some extent. If the elementalization of the natural system is thrown away, and they are allowed to fight each other, the result may not necessarily be the victory of the natural system. Kaku is confident that, even if the 7 warlords of the sea are hit by his attack, they will be seriously injured. The attack was launched like this. Kaku raised the storm kick upwards, and the vacuum wave driven by the storm kick rushed towards Lingfan, who was motionless and injured it. With a bang sound, the vacuum wave finally passed Lingfan's body. Lingfan felt the cutting force flash through his body. However, Lingfan was not injured. After 18 years of learning and sparring with Barrett and others, his armament haki had reached the peak level of the sea. The storm kick of CP9 could not break Lingfan's defense at all. At this time, Kaku was also stunned. What is going on? This is impossible. I hid my storm kick. Even if the body will not be cut into 2 ends, it will at least be seriously injured. But now, there is not even a trace of blood. Kaku no longer knows what to say. The 7 warlords of the sea in front of him are definitely the strongest enemies Kaku has ever met in his life. Lingfan then said, since I have withstood your attack, you must keep your word and join our camp, right? Kaku was very embarrassed. He never thought that he would sell himself to Lingfan so easily. It seems that you are not going to keep your promise. In this case, I have no choice but to use coercive measures. Lingfan then came to Kaku in an instant. Kaku immediately used various attacks, but Lingfan's observation haki made it very easy for him to dodge all of Kaku's attacks. In the end, Lingfan kicked Kaku into human form. Then Lingfan grabbed Kaku's neck and bang, knocked Kaku unconscious with a punch. Kaku, our camp needs a good player like you. Lingfan showed a weird smile. The surroundings were already a sea of fire, and Berry had already escaped with the iceberg. I can't stay here anymore. Lingfan then planned to leave. Chapter 120 To landing the sea train. Then, Lingfen grabbed Kaku who had fainted, used Deadpool's ability to teleport quickly, and finally planned to leave Iceberg's mansion. When leaving, Lingfen saw Berry and Iceberg who had successfully escaped. It's really troublesome that things have developed to this point now, Lingfen complained. Lingfen knew Robin and would never betray him. If she said there was something unspeakable, it must be something unspeakable, and Lingfen would not blame her. First take this guy back to the ship and let him officially join when the time is right. Lingfen looked at the Kaku in his hand and then immediately flew up in the air. At this time, the water city was approaching the arrival of the water gods and the wind was strong, but Lingfen finally succeeded in sending Kaku to the ship in the sky. Lingfen roughly explained the matter and everyone understood what Lingfen meant. Next, I will chase the sea train. Frankie and Robin should be on the sea train. Robin and Pluto's design drawings must not fall into the hands of the government, Lingfen said. Hearing the news about Pluto, Crocodile couldn't sit still. Lingfen, you must let me go with you this time. After all, I joined your camp because of Pluto. We agreed that, if you create Pluto, you must let me use it once. Lingfen asked Crocodile to join before, and promised him to use Pluto once again. How could Crocodile not be tempted by the appearance of Pluto's design this time? This is a water city. Your ability is greatly restrained. I promised to let you use it, and I will let you use it, but don't forget that this is just a design, and has no use. Pluto must be manufactured before it can be an ancient weapon with infinite power. Lingfen persuaded. Then what do you want me to do? Crocodile asked. Just stay here. After memorizing the design of Pluto, I will meet your request at that time. Lingfen persuaded Crocodile for a while, and Crocodile finally put his mind away. Lingfen knew that after CP9 knew the whole story, they would definitely take Frankie and Robin away. Then, Lingfen naturally flew towards the sea train of the water city immediately. When flying halfway, Lingfen heard a loud whistle, which was naturally made by Smoking Tom of the sea train. The last train today, from the water city to Ennis Hall. A voice came from the inside of the sea train. Although Lingfen arrived in time, he did not enter the rear of the train first. The sea train finally started slowly and officially embarked on the journey. Lingfen entered the carriage, but this section was full of goods and there were no people. Lingfen had been flying in the air not long ago and had a lot of water on his body. It's so cold, I have to dry this water first. Lingfen merged with Johnny the Thunderbolt, and the temperature of his whole body rose a little. Soon, he warmed up. At this time, Lingfen looked around. There is no point in staying in this section, we must move forward. Lingfen then went to the next carriage. This carriage was different. It was filled with government agents in black suits. When they saw Lingfen, they immediately pointed their guns at him and asked, "Who are you?" Lingfen saw the agents around him and immediately said with a smile, "As you can see, at present, they are your enemies. Quick, go and inform Mr. Luxie." Some people were about to go to the next carriage, but were stopped by another agent. There's no need to inform CP9 about such a small matter. No matter how violent the suspicious element are, they are nothing to be afraid of, because I'm here in this carriage, said a tall old man with a white beard. I'm the king of a karate popular island in the South China Sea. Yes, I'm a boxing champion. Lingfen said speechlessly. Why don't you go to heaven? Ha. How dare you complain about me? You should see my fist first. The man then waved his fist and shouted, Jerry Aurora flash jab. This guy named Jerry threw countless punches, which looked very fierce, but Lingfen easily dodged all the attacks. You are a funny character, right? Lingfen was speechless and didn't want to waste time. He threw the Thor's hammer in his hand directly, and the man named Jerry was knocked down instantly. Lingfen naturally defeated all the others with 3 punches and 2 kicks. They either fainted on the ground or lost their ability to fight. Then Lingfen walked to the next carriage. As soon as he opened the door, he saw countless people in black clothes looking at him. Lingfen pretended nothing happened and continued to move forward. The men in black were all in a state of confusion until their leader shouted, "Assholes! What are you doing? This is definitely an enemy." Lingfen touched his head and said, "It seems that we have to fight. In this case, you just fall down." Ling Fan quickly used the armed color to knock the visible men in black to the ground. At this time, he turned around and saw Frankie. Huh? Mr. Ling Fan, are you here to save me? Frankie said. You, Ling Fan, didn't expect to see Frankie so easily. Just when he was about to take a step forward, he was immediately stopped by the two twin brothers. Stop. I won't let you take another step forward. The twins in black quickly launched a slash at Ling Fan, but these two guys were simply weaklings in front of Ling Fan. Without even pulling out his sword, Ling Fan just leaped forward and swung the scabbard to knock the two unconscious. After all, the gap in strength between Ling Fan and the others was too obvious. Such small-time enemies could be killed instantly when they met. Lord Ling Fan, Frankie said to Ling Fan. Well, you were captured by the Navy, so my parts should be impossible to collect, right? Ling Fan suddenly asked. Frankie was a little embarrassed, wondering why Ling Fan asked this. The answer is yes or no. Ling Fan said. Of course, Frankie said. In that case, I can save you, but there is a very simple request for you. I wonder if you can meet it? Ling Fan asked. Frankie said, what do you think? If you allow me to look at the design of Pluto for half a minute, I will save you. After Ling Fan finished speaking, he saw that Frankie's face changed and immediately added, don't worry, I'm not from CP9. When they attacked Iceberg, I saved Iceberg. I'm just interested in your design of Pluto. Half a minute? Are you sure? Frankie knew that Ling Fan's strength was unfathomable. It was better to let Ling Fan look at it for half a minute than to let the people of the world government take it away. But what if you take it away and don't give it back to me? Frankie asked. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 123, The Second Carriage. How about this? You take the design and help me flip through it, and I'll take a rough look. Is that okay? If you're worried about me, you can lock me up with ceased and handcuffs. I'm really just interested and want to take a look. You don't think I can create Pluto just by taking a look? I don't know if it was because he felt Ling Fan's sincerity or something. Frankie finally nodded and said, I know, since you want to watch for half a minute, it's better than being snatched away by CP9. Save me. Ling Fan was very proud in his heart. Do you really think I can't remember it for half a minute? Then Ling Fan untied Frankie's restraints. We can't leave for the time being, just keep moving forward. My partner Robin is still in their hands. Ling Fan said. Okay. I want to settle accounts with them too. Frankie bumped his hands together, and the two of them went to the next car together. The people sitting in this car were not world government officials wearing black clothes, but Navy. As soon as they entered the car, Ling Fan and Frankie faced the threat of dozens of enemies. What? Enemy? Colonel T-Pen. I've seen this guy before. He looks like one of the 7 warlords of the sea. The 7 warlords of the sea with the highest bounty. This guy is very strong. Be careful. The huge marine colonel wearing a cloak of justice said. I'm T-Pen. It looks like you're an accomplice of the criminal. I'll take you all down right now. Okay, come on. Ling Fan's mouth curled up slightly, and then he used Quicksilver's ability, Candle Frankie, to quickly walk outside this carriage and the next one, and then destroyed the connection between the carriages, so that this carriage was separated. Before they could react, the Marine Colonel and his Marines found that the 7 warlords of the sea and the criminal had disappeared. Bang! Then the door of the carriage opened. What's going on? Colonel Penn felt very strange, and then he reacted. What? We have been separated. This guy. What a jerk. What kind of speed is this? I didn't even have time to react. How did they separate the train? Peng En looked at the door of the carriage for a long time, but he couldn't figure it out. As expected of the 7 warlords of the sea with the highest bounty, he is really strong. T-Peng En said. Frankie was also shocked. Hey, Master Ling Fan, what happened? My speed can reach supersonic speed. I just came here at supersonic speed and separated the 2 carriages. I wonder if you can understand what I mean? Ling Fan explained a little. Frankie nodded as if he understood. Lingfen patted Frankie and said, next. There are only the last 5 carriages left. Come on, don't be scared, and get in together. He pushed open the door of the carriage again, and there was another group of world government officials in black. Asshole. You actually killed Colonel T. Pension. Go report to CP9. Lingfen said, it's not that simple. You don't stand a chance in front of me. Small dominant haki. Lingfen released a small range of dominant haki. The minions in front of him had no resistance at all. They couldn't keep their balance and finally fainted on the ground. Let's go to the 4th carriage. Lingfen said, and then walked towards the 4th carriage. So strong. That day, you should have shown mercy, right? How strong are you? Frankie asked. Do you think you can still survive if I don't show mercy? As for my strength, the 3 admirals of the navy will not be my opponent. I haven't fought the so-called 4 emperors yet, but I don't think I will lose to them, right? Lingfen said very conservatively. Oh my god. Frankie's worldview was completely refreshed. The 4th carriage seemed to be a kitchen. As soon as they entered, a very strange chef pushed a dining cart and stopped in front of Lingfen and the others. Hi, I'm Waji. Are you hungry? It's the service chief. Are you here to share ramen? Then I'll go make ramen. But before that, let me tell you a few little facts. My nose hair is mesh-like inside, like a brush. Remember this? Then Waji took out a few handfuls of wheat flour, put it in his mouth, and began to chew. After chewing thoroughly, noodles flowed out of his nostrils. Waji took a spoonful of hot soup in his other hand, and a bowl of fragrant, super, spray, disgusting, spray, hot, noodles was ready. Come on. Taste it. Waji said excitedly. Lingfen and Frankie naturally wouldn't eat such disgusting things. The two were ready to leave this car, but Waji said, if you want to pass this car, you have to defeat me first. If you want to rescue the prisoner, you must first defeat my ramen boxing. I see. Is this guy a funny character? Lingfen said. Oh. Funny character? Frankie also understood what Lingfen meant. Puff. Waji in front of him ate the wheat flour again, and then shot out very hard noodles like bullets from his nose. The two naturally dodged. This guy's really disgusting. I will defeat him as soon as possible. You go to the next car first, and I will be there soon. Lingfen said. Frankie responded, and then planned to go around the top of the car. The next car is Neraku. Although he is a newcomer, he is indeed a member of CP9. You will die. Waji said. Stop talking nonsense. Your opponent is me now. Lingfen showed a sinister smile. Waji in front of him smacked his heart. Then Waji ate the wheat flour in his mouth to be fully prepared, and used his nose to create a ramen clothes. Are you done? Lingfen asked. If you are done, then die. Lingfen stretched out Wolverine's adamantium claws with both hands. It's useless. My ramen has strong toughness. Waji thought Lingfen would be bounced away like an ordinary person. However, Lingfen rushed towards Waji at a very fast speed, grabbing with both hands at the same time. With a crack sound, not only did the ramen break, but Waji's body was also severely injured. Blood immediately splashed all over the carriage, and Waji fell to the ground. It's time to find Frankie. Lingfen then immediately walked to the next carriage. However, when he walked to the next carriage, he did not see anyone, but only a group of minions in black clothes. After taking a few seconds to kill all of them, Lingfen raised his head and looked at the carriage. It seems that they are fighting fiercely up there, so I'd better not disturb them. Lingfen then directly passed the 3rd carriage and knocked on the door of the 2nd carriage. The 2nd carriage is where CP9 rests, and Robin is responsible for guarding the 1st carriage. After a few seconds, Lingfen kicked the door of the 2nd carriage open. What? Chapter 124, Battle against Robluxy. Lingfen kicked the door of the 2nd carriage open, and the door was completely damaged with a click. Lingfen kicked again, and with a bang, the damaged door flew directly towards CP9 and others in front of him. Everything happened too suddenly, and only Luxy reacted and kicked the flying carriage door to pieces. At this moment, CP9 and the 2nd carriage showed disbelief. Lingfen? How did he appear here? Califa was shocked. It seems that Kaku failed. This guy's indeed worthy of being one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Luxy said. What should we do next? Bruno asked. Of course, we will fight. Luxie is a war maniac, and naturally he hopes for a more exciting battle. Lingfen ignored what they said and smiled and said, "Hello everyone, you all left in a hurry after leaving Water City. Where are you going? Ennis Hall? Didn't I destroy Judicial Island a long time ago? Judicial Island is an important island, and it has been rebuilt by the people of the world government a long time ago." Luxie said, "I see, from your looks, you don't plan to let me see Robin easily, right?" Lingfen asked. "Right. So are you three going to fight in a round robin battle? Or are you going to fight together?" Lingfen could guess that Robin was in the first car, so he was no longer in a hurry. "I want to see how strong the 7 warlords of the sea are." Luxie knew Kaku's strength, and he was definitely not an ordinary person to be able to reach Kaku. "I advise you to fight together, otherwise the battle may end soon." Lingfen was extremely confident, but he also wanted to know how strong Luxie was. "You retreat, leave it to me alone." The arrogant Luxie naturally took on the task of fighting Lingfen alone. The two were ready in the second car, ready for a big fight. Shave. Luxie rushed over at this extremely fast speed, marking the beginning of the battle between the two. At the same time, Luxie stretched out his index finger and said, "Finger gun." Then there was a whoosh sound. Luxie's finger gun was very powerful, and the air around him made an air explosion sound. However, Lingfen was not hit. Instead, he kept that weird smile and dodged quickly. Although he didn't use paper painting, Lingfen was still able to dodge Luxie's finger gun very cleverly. How is this possible? It's as if he knew where I was going to attack. Not only Luxie was surprised, but Califer and Bruno were also very surprised. How could he dodge Luxie's fast attack? "What's going on?" Califer asked. "This is the first time that Luxie's attack missed," Bruno said. "Missed kick." Then the vacuum air wave attacked Lingfen, but Lingfen dodged the missed kick slightly to the side. Because Luxie kicked from bottom to top, after Lingfen dodged, the top of the carriage was hit by Luxie's missed kick and was completely broken. The heavy rain outside came in. Seeing that the top was broken, Luxie used the moon step and came to the top of the carriage. Moon step. Luxie immediately used the moon step to walk in the air and then kicked again from the air. Lingfen raised his arm slightly to block Luxie's kick. At this time, Lingfen's arm had turned black. "What is that? How many times did it block our attack?" Bruno asked. "This thing is much harder than steel," Califer said. Luxie took a deep breath, flipped backwards and said very seriously, "This thing is called armament haki. It is said that only the masters in the second half of the Grand Line can master it. The one who was able to predict my attack just now should be observation haki, right?" "Yes, it seems that Luxie knows something about the 3-color haki," Lingfen teased. 3-color haki? What is another kind of haki? Califer asked curiously. "Conqueror haki. This kind of haki is said to be only possessed by people with the qualifications of a king. It can only be awakened after birth and cannot be possessed through training. The 4 Emperors Shanks has mastered the strongest conqueror haki in the world. As the leader of these lurking CP9, Luxie naturally knows more about some things on the sea. Since you are so interested in haki, I will show you what haki is." At this time, Lingfen's pupils shrank, his whole body shook, and his expression became very cold. "Haki." Just like that, a powerful aura burst out from Lingfen, and this aura shocked the heart, and the whole car shook because of Lingfen. This Califer and Bruno suddenly felt extremely terrified, as if the person in front of them was not Lingfen from the 7 warlords of the sea, but a real strong man. Looking at Lingfen, they even felt like worshipping him. However, they did not move, because this power paralyzed their whole body. Even Lux's body was frozen at this time, and his calm expression finally turned into fear and worry. Even Luxie did not expect Lingfen to be so powerful. "How is it? This is haki, and this is not all my aura." Lingfen smiled like this, and continued to maintain this conqueror's haki. However, Luxie was a little different at this time. His eyes suddenly changed, and his whole body suddenly began to swell, and finally his appearance changed greatly. Then the effect of Lingfen's conqueror's haki was naturally weakened. Using the power of the devil fruit, you became a leopard man. Interesting. Lingfen intensified his conqueror's haki, and then let Califer and Bruno faint first, and put away the conqueror's haki. "I will make you regret it, Lingfen." Luxie then rushed towards Ling Fan at an even more terrifying speed. And Ling Fan also rushed over. While rushing, he merged with Hulk. Ling Fan, who merged into Hulk, also became extremely huge all over. The two hugged each other directly and started wrestling. Bang! Luxie swung his fist and hit Ling Fan. Because the two were fighting together, it was not easy to dodge, and Ling Fan also punched him. Iron block. Luxie's whole body became as hard as iron, but the punch from Ling Fan, who had transformed into Hulk, still made Luxie spit blood and fly to the third and fourth carriages like a cannonball. How is it possible? What kind of fruit did this guy eat? Is it also animal type? How can he have such a powerful force? Question mark? Luxie said in disbelief. However, at this moment, Ling Fan has appeared in front of Luxie. Rob Luxie, known as the strongest CP9 in the past 800 years, what surprises will you bring me next? Question mark? Luxie looked at Luxie and asked. It seems that this will be my toughest battle. Luxie looked at Ling Fan and said seriously. Chapter 125, Luki joins. You're right, Luxie. I will be the most powerful enemy you've ever seen in your life. Ling Fan looked at Luxie and said condescendingly. Ling Fan, who had turned into Hulk, was even taller than Luxie. Then give it a try. The battle has just begun. The flames of battle burned in Luxie's eyes again. Finger gun Coptis. Luxie released his unique finger gun and attacked Ling Fan. Do. Luxie hit Ling Fan's body, just like hitting extremely hard metal. Ling Fan didn't show any signs of being hurt at all. Is your attack just like this? Luxie, I'm so disappointed. Ling Fan showed disdain. Luxie had never encountered a situation where his attack failed, so he launched another attack again. Rain kick leopard tail. This move was still Luxie's unique storm kick. This spiral slash instantly cut into Ling Fan's body, making a crackling sound. However, Ling Fan, who had merged with Hulk, still had no scars. Rain legs KO. Luxie pulled away and used his ultimate move again, but in the end it still did not change the result. Ling Fan once again used his body to resist Luxie's attack. Impossible. This move can easily cut through an iron plate that is more than 100 meters wide and tens of meters thick. How can it be resisted by your body that is not covered with armed color? Luxie was a little bit unbelievable. After all, since he was 13 years old, Luxie has never met anyone who can beat him. After Ling Fan felt Luxie's attack, he swung his fist and hit him. Luxie was very proud in his heart and immediately shouted, Iron block. However, the ending here did not change. Ling Fan's punch once again made Luxie spit blood. However, in order to prevent Luxie from being hit into the sea, Ling Fan naturally grabbed Luxie's body with his hands, so that the weight of the punch fell completely on Luxie. Ahem. Luxie's eyes seemed a little distracted. What a strong opponent. Defense and attack power. His speed and domineering aura are beyond my reach. Neither the 6 styles nor the fruit ability have any effect on him. Is this the 7 warlords of the sea? For the first time, Luxie had the idea of giving up. However, his proud heart did not allow Luxie to give up. Ling Fan, take my strongest move. If you can withstand this move, I have nothing to say. Luxie's eyes were resolute, and it was obvious that he intended to fight with all his strength. Okay. But I won't take your punch in vain. If you lose, all members join my organization, the Avengers. How about it? Ling Fan extended an olive branch to Luxie. Luxie did not think too much and said, it's a deal. Okay. Ling Fan then stood at the edge of the last carriage, his whole body covered with armed color, and transformed himself into devil mode, the Hulk in devil mode, plus the indestructible Wolverine. Finally, Ling Fan chose Captain America. Ling Fan blocked Captain America in front of himself and was naturally ready to resist Luxie's strongest move. Luxie also began to accumulate power very seriously. This time, because Ling Fan took the initiative to bear the attack, Luxie did not tie Ling Fan with his tail, but ran to the second carriage to start accumulating power. Come on. Ling Fan shouted. 6 style secrets. The largest wheel 6 King's Spear. Rob Luxie obviously used all his strength, plus his accumulated power, and really ran towards Ling Fan like a leopard. The floor of the carriage was bumpy, but it also showed the exaggerated degree of Luxie's power accumulation. Swoosh, swoosh. Lux's speed was getting faster and faster, and the distance between him and Lingfen was getting closer and closer. Finally, the two finally collided with each other. Luxy raised his fists and released all his strength. A huge shockwave hit Lingfen. Even the adamantium shield made a boom sound of metal vibration. This vibration was immediately transmitted to the handle of Lingfen's shield and then transmitted to his whole body through his hands. Even his internal organs and bones were affected by this strong vibration. This is this guy's shockwave. It really can't be underestimated. Lingfen praised. Lux's full strength attack caused a lot of vibration in his internal organs. Although it was not serious, it was the first time that someone had done this. However, Lingfen was fine, but Luxy showed an expression of disbelief. How is it possible? This is a move I used all my strength to perform. How could it have no effect at all? Exclamation mark. Impossible. Impossible. Luxy looked at the intact Lingfen unwillingly, no longer as calm and composed as before. Your attack is very powerful. Ordinary people might die if they are hit by this move. But, against me, it's much worse. Lingfen put the shield on his back, and the slight scratches caused by the shockwave all over his body recovered quickly under Lux's gaze. What is this? Super speed regeneration? Luxy said in disbelief. Yes, half of your strength was removed by my shield, and the other half was removed by my body itself. The rest made my body's blood churn, and my internal organs vibrate. Then, the self-healing factor completely healed me. Luxy, the gap between our realms is too big, you lose. So now, do you want to admit defeat? Lingfen looked at Luxy and asked. Luxy didn't know what to say, but he was limp all over and had already exited the leopard form. Either live and have a chance to surpass me, or die and leave this world forever. Lingfen gave Luxy a chance to choose freely. Luxy thought for a long time and finally said, I choose to live and start over. Then you will join my side. You can't have any dealings with the world government anymore? Lingfen confirmed. Yes. At this point, Rob Luxy could only nod his head. Lingfen was hit by his strongest move but was unscathed. How could he fight him? Would he let an agent make a meaningless sacrifice? Then, these two people will have to die. Rob Luxy looked at Califer and Bruno and said, I didn't expect you to change so quickly. They were partners just now, but you want to kill them now? Lingfen asked with a wicked smile. Kaku has also joined my camp. Since these two people are your subordinates, why not recruit them together? My organization is very inclusive and accepts all kinds of strong people, such as the 4 emperors. Therefore, I have many strong people under my command. When the time comes, you can also spar with each other at will. After Lingfen finished speaking, Frankie had defeated Neroku and came to Lingfen. Lingfen told Frankie the whole story, and Frankie finally understood. CP9 actually surrendered? Although Frankie understood, he still couldn't believe it. However, Lingfen didn't care whether Frankie believed it or not. This was an ironclad fact. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.